was so proudly we hailed at the twilight that's gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular upon first singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands, part of the Chief Sports Network, and proud partners of On3, Go Gamecocks.
He'll be fine on the mountain.
Consecutive home runs for Carolina.
It is good. It's gone.
He's in. Touchdown.
For the throw of the play. He's going to score. It's a walk-off. Touchdown, South Carolina.
All right, greetings and good morning. Welcome aboard and welcome home inside the Gamecocks, the morning show presented by Resto Pros and our buddies over at the West Law Firm. Visit westlawfirmsc.com. Resto Pros, if you need someone to clean up a mess or deal with the insurance company, whatever it might be, all the stuff that is not fun. No fun. Zero fun, sir, Matt. That's where you'll get Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. That quote, by the way, is from, do you know which movie? Zero Fun, Sir.
No. How do I not? How is there a movie quote I'm missing?
Denzel Washington, football.
Oh, Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Are you having fun? Yes, sir. You are having fun? No, sir. Zero fun, sir. There you go. Anyway, sorry. It is Thursday, August the 13th, 10 o'clock. Here we go. Smitty is in from Four Quarter Friday. Coming up at 11 o'clock, the return of one of our quarterbacks. Perry Orth is back, and we will dive deep into Kendall Briles' playbook and talk offense. Perry is ready to go. We had a long conversation the other day about Lenore Sellers and how how many yards he's going to throw for Smitty. I think Perry said he's got him up around 4,500 with 1,500 rushing yards. One of the greatest seasons in the history of college football at that position.
Is that predicted?
All? Yeah, that's it. And that was through 6 games. So
that's at the bye. That's when they reach the bye week, and
that's right.
And then we'll reassess.
Yeah, that's after they get to the swamp. But look forward to getting to Perry, and then we got another guy Y'all know around here pretty well. He knows his football, too. He knows how to strum it and pick it a little bit better, though, and write it. Patrick Davis will join us from Nashville, Tennessee, and he's got something really neat to tell you about. We have a lot to tell you about in the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions.
What's going on in Gamecock Country? It's the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions on the morning show. Visit GamecockTraditions.com or in Lexington and get your gear and apparel today.
All right, let me I tell you what, Smitty, before we get to anything that's on the paper right here, on the Gamecock Traditions white paper. First of all, I just saw I actually have the chat box on comments today. Sometimes I flip it over and I forget to flip it back. As I was texting with Phil, you know what I'm about. When I say this, you're going to nod your head. I know your head nod well. You'll nod your head. I was texting with Phil and JC about some stuff this morning, joking with them. I said, aren't y'all lucky that you've got me? It's hard to be a point guard. It's hard to be a point guard. I don't know. Somebody out there's going, you're an idiot. In addition to my wife. But I was looking at the chat box here. Luke, first of all, Luke sent me a Twitter message. Just so you know, my man, I don't respond usually to Twitter messages, and that has nothing to do with you at all. But I do have a reason for it. But I got it, and I got you. Don't worry, that's something we're working on. But thank you for being a member, and thank you. He told me that he had subscribed to the Big Spur. We really appreciate that. For $2.50 a month, and you can subscribe to 4 Quarter Friday for $2. So for $5 a month, you can get 4quarterfriday.com, which right now is, y'all have done I don't know, are you sleeping or what? How do you just stay up, you and Rob, just get all this intel and keep getting that stuff on the air? I mean, it's amazing.
Rob's not. Rob's not sleeping.
Yeah, well, he seems a little nocturnal. He's kind of like a bat. But anyway, so you can do that. Big Spur, $2.50 a month. So I saw that. Harrison, we'll come back to this. Harrison's a young buck, the undisputed GOAT of football movies. Remember the Titans. I don't know that I'm going to go that far, but we'll get you straightened out, Harrison. And then Doc, I forgot that you were from Western North Carolina. Obviously, we're up there all the time in Maggie Valley and kind of putting around in Waynesville, Cherokee, and stuff like that. Where are you from again? Please remind me. Okay, back to the report. Congratulations to Shelly and Jamie Smith and the South Carolina women's soccer team. The Gamecocks defeated the Beavers of Oregon State last night 2-0 in the home opener and the season opener over at Stone Stadium. They are back on the pitch Sunday, 5 o'clock at Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Gamecock Club members, check yo emails. If you didn't, you probably saw our report, a week or two ago, or whenever that was. I put up some stuff about what was actually going on in Williams-Brice Stadium. Mentioned in that article that South Carolina will be issuing plenty of information between then and kickoff. They have now issued 2 statements or 2 emails with multiple statements. And so if you didn't see the one yesterday, look at it, because some of the gates have changed as to how you'll get in and where you'll go, depending on where your seats are. And then they've got a nugget in there about which lanes are closed on game day on George Rogers Boulevard. So if you park in that area and you're used to going this way or that way, there could be some that could affect you. So make sure you check it or go to GamecocksOnline.com. Practice number 6, 31 minutes away from being over. But the important note about today's practice for Carolina football, Smitty, it's the last day without full pads. Tomorrow they'll be hitting each other. How big of a buffer do you think they have around Lenoris Sellers in the scrimmage on Saturday night?
I don't think you can come within 10 yards of Sellers.
I don't either. I think if you cross the line of scrimmage, they're going to flag you for offsides, even if it was after the ball was snapped. They're going to blow the play dead and kick you out.
If you dream about tackling Lenoris Sellers, you better wake up and apologize.
Oh, you're going to be in the they're going to put you in the transfer portal. So all you young defensive ends trying to make a name for yourselves, don't be an idiot.
And don't cut Dylan Stewart. Right? Don't cut block.
I don't think Dylan's playing on Saturday.
Yeah, he's not. He's still he wouldn't play at all. He wouldn't practice, but
now, that would be news.
that would be that goes for half the defensive line though. This is although you mentioned it, full pads, it's kind of, you've seen these practices. Oh. It's like it's not I mean, to put it the best way I can, it's not football even. So this will be the first time they play football with each other.
Oh God! That's the thing, I mean, so they'll be out there practicing tomorrow. They'll be out there practicing tomorrow, and then on Saturday, these guys they got so much juice built up, smacking helmets, and who knows? Shane Beamer will join us on Monday, so we'll be his first conversation post scrimmage. I'll do everything I can to get information. Don't worry. If you like to enjoy yourselves in Columbia, you can do it at 5:00 in probably the coolest new restaurant / bar that 5 Points has had in a long time. And I will say that because I am fully confident in the three gentlemen that own this establishment. 5 Point Social will be open at 5 p.m. in 5 Points. It's all around 5 on Saturday. 5 for 5. I'll be there. Michael Flint will be there, curly hair and all. Mary English is performing, amongst others. So if you're going to be in town and you want to check out a new place, got good food, a lot of fun, there you go. 5 Point Social. Congratulations to those guys. Can't wait to slip in on Saturday afternoon. In addition to that, Smitty, if you like bourbon, if you like music, and if you like Kentucky, not the Wildcats, the state, especially in the fall, you might want to listen to what Patrick Davis has to say today.
Oh,
at 11:30, an event for the ages, and I believe I'm going to be able to make it up there too. He is like putting the full pressure, the full stop. You know what I mean? Like you've been together for 7 years. I was like, when am I getting an engagement ring? That's what I feel like when Patrick's calling me right now. Did you book your plane ticket yet? I mean, this is a probably kind of like a once in a lifetime type event, and I'll let him explain it.
Oh, that's fun. Have you ever gone on the bourbon tour or anything up there?
Yes, I have. In the 2016 season, Carolina played in Lexington. That's when I lost my hearing because their rap music is so loud it bounces off the metal bleachers and it deafens you. It's pretty rough.
Kroger, but, is it Kroger then? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, now. Kroger Field. Yeah. We went to Buffalo Trace, which is my favorite bourbon ever. It's probably the coolest distillery I've ever seen. We went to Woodford, which looks like a college campus. We went to Four Roses. We went to Wild Turkey. Those are the four I've been to. I haven't been, but I'll get to go to 3 more this time. And PD will explain all that. You can go to patrickdavismusic.com. That's it. You can go to Gamecock Traditions if you need a Nike check mark like that. Look at that.
That looks good. That is strong, by the way. I know there was a debate early about that is, to me, top shelf. That is elite.
I can tell you the garnet's perfect in this, just so anybody wondering. Perfect. Thank them for sending me that. You can get these there too. You can go, like, if you go on the road this year and you want to dress like the team, look at that.
That's nice.
Got all that right there. Anyways. It's 1012 Club Kroger. Yeah, Lexington's loud, man. It's loud. loud, loud, loud. And it's not like Williams-Brice Stadium where like the fans are just, or Knoxville. Knoxville is super loud. You don't even need a band or music in Neyland Stadium. It's an awesome environment. Lexington, it's like, hey man, you see that guy over there? He can hear what the guy next to him's saying. We'll turn it up a notch. I think that's what's good. I think they got guys up there with the binoculars, Smitty, and if they can see the visitors actually able to communicate with the person within 6 inches of them, they crank the music even louder.
Well, they had to install that system during the old Hal Mummy days when they had to create their own atmosphere.
Yeah, nobody's going
during the Rich Brooks days, and then got a lot better under Stoops. Stoops, good football coach, good defensive coordinator. I know. Eventually, it like almost everything, that relationship wore thin eventually, but he did something there.
He sure did. There's no doubt about that. Craig said we did the bourbon distilleries for my 50th. We visited about 15 of them. So it's really neat. It's Kentucky is a really pretty state. It really is. It's a beautiful state. And I would highly suggest those who like to try to get to a road trip a year or something like that, if you're a South Carolina fan. I know that the Wildcats are back in Columbia this season because of the 9-game schedule and how they had to redo things. But when Carolina returns that trip next year, I would suggest going. It's a good trip. There's things to do in Lexington. You can stop on the way up at the original Sanders Cafe, the original KFC. Food's not really impressive, but at least you got to say that you went. And you can also go see the world's largest frying pan. That was kind of cool. I think that's in Corbin, Kentucky, or somewhere around there. So, but the distilleries, that's the point. We made it a point we're going to make this trip. So we did that on Saturday or on Friday, hit up 4 of them, and then Saturday the game, came home on Sunday. So it was pretty nice.
And that's a permanent partner too. So you'll have plenty of opportunities. You can get up there and make a weekend of it. And unlike some of the other SEC venues where you have to go once in a lifetime, but Lexington, you'll have plenty of chances to do a full week up there if you want to.
Yeah, that's a good trip. Tennessee's a good trip. Auburn's a good trip. I'm excited for South Carolina to go back to the Plains whenever that's going to be. I think that's in like maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe somewhere in there. I'll have to go look. But I've enjoyed my trips to Auburn. Can't go to Tuscaloosa this year because of how it falls. I'll be out of town so much. But Tuscaloosa is a good trip. I'm trying to think of. I mean, Athens. That trip sucks. No disrespect to my Georgia friends, but I'm cool with not going there.
I like Athens though.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoy Athens. But I'm kind of like you're saying. I enjoy almost everything. If you're not rushed, like a lot of times we're working or something. If you're not rushed, almost everywhere you're visiting in the SEC is cool.
Yeah. I except Athens.
Yeah, you don't like Athens. Huh? I enjoy. I almost moved to Athens. Went to Atlanta instead.
I don't like Atlanta either. So, although the trip last year was set up perfect for us, how we executed this with the Airbnb right there. I mean, we weren't even. I think we took an Uber to the stadium on game day, and that took like 4 minutes. Or we could take the train. Now that spooked me a little bit. Yeah.
Marta.
Yeah. That's the one under the ground, right? Is that the Marta?
Marta goes under the ground some.
Okay. Yeah. That there were some cats that had been down there a while. I could do without them. So that spooked me a little bit. But the setup was fantastic because we went to the College Football Hall of Fame while we were there, which is a must do. If you're a fan of college football, go in and go through all of it. If you're ever like driving through Atlanta, stop at the College Football Hall of Fame. I promise you, it is so worth it. And there's a bunch of restaurants right there. It was really cool. Really cool. All right. Shoot, I forgot we were picking on Harrison. So we'll come back to that here in just a little while and get him corrected on his football movies. That's a great movie. Remember the Titans is amazing. There's no doubt, but it's not the GOAT. I don't believe.
I want to hear your number one.
I don't know if I have a number one.
Well, see, it depends on what you like. Because if somebody asks me the best baseball movie, I think long and hard, and I think my opinion on that changes frequently. But I come back often to Bull Durham.
I do too.
Major League. But I can understand why others select Field of Dreams. And I think Remember the Titans, to me, falls in that category, where it's good, it's rewatchable, it's inspiring. But to me, there has to be almost, when it comes to sports movies, it's like a deeper level of humor that it has to capture. It has to capture that for me to be a great sports movie, because I think that is the peek into what's going on behind the scenes. Major League is almost more like real baseball than anything else, because that's what it's like. It's a clown show half the time.
Yeah.
And I like Remember the Titans. I love Field of Dreams and all those that fall into that category. But I don't need to shed a tear. 8 Men Out is good for what it is, all that. But, give me North Dallas 40 when it comes to football movies.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And unintentional humor in The Program. Like The Program, the guy on steroids.
100%. I love The Program. I that's what I'm saying. You could say, hey, we're going to watch The Program tonight. And I'm like, I'm good with that. You could say that we're going to watch Varsity Blues tonight. And I'm like, I'm good with that. I love Varsity Blues. Love Varsity Blues. And it's not just because of Ali Larder either. I actually enjoy Varsity Blues. But, there's
R.I.P. Vanderbeek. R.I.P.
Friday Night Lights is just amazing. Billy Bob, I'm going to make it. Here you go. We got to go to break. I'm going to make this statement, and then everybody can fuss it and discuss it. Billy Bob Thornton is the greatest actor of our generation. All right, got to hit a timeout. It's 10:19. When we come back, we'll scramble here on the morning show.
Subscribe to thebigspur.com. Proud partners of On3.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where every chance at a win comes with a chance of a whiff.
Wait, what? What does she have to be so happy about?
Well, quite a bit, Jeff. That face right there, that's a face that says fun. But when the game stops being fun and that face goes away, it might be time to take a break.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Mystery voice?
No problem, Jeff. Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you.
In Gamecock Country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Mike here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Today and every day, we celebrate our great state of South Carolina. This week, our hometown highlight takes us to the PD in Lake City, home of the great Darla Moore and our friends in Johnsonville. We love the PD.
Hey guys, this is Mason West with the West Law Firm. We want to say hey to all our friends and family out in Lake City and the Johnsonville areas. This is a great football part of the state. We can help y'all out in any way. Give us a call, 843-897-7525.
It's time for the Morning Show Scramble. On Inside the Gamecocks, the Morning Show. Presented by Recoat Revolution. Beautiful, like new floors in just one day. Part of the Chief Sports Network.
Do you agree or disagree on Billy Bob Thornton? Just out of
Well,
curiosity.
I think we've discussed this before. I've always loved Billy Bob Thornton. Always. But now what you said, honestly, I think it's almost in tiers because it depends on what you do. But I do. I absolutely love Billy Bob Thornton. And there's no way anybody that saw him, he came out, he was friends with John Ritter, and he came out of like a sitcom, Hearts of Fire or something. I'm old enough to have watched that. And he was chubby then. Like when he was doing the bit part in Tombstone.
Yeah.
You know, where he's the car dealer. At that point, no one said, well, there he is. There's the next De Niro. That guy. But I agree with you. He's magnetic. He's grown in confidence over the years where he just decided, no, I'm a force of nature and I will carry series. I will carry films. I don't care. He was almost, back to Sling Blade. He said, no, I'm this good. And you just don't know that I'm this good because of the way I look. I don't look like Johnny Depp. So you don't know yet who I am. And it was always there. But let me offer. So I think there's tiers, I'll say. And I understand everybody because I think, if you ask somebody, well, who's the best? You give him a script, and it has to be carried. I think there's an argument that Daniel Day-Lewis transforms into a part better than anybody else.
Okay,
and you have people like that. You know what you get: Tom Hanks and John Turturro and things like that. But I will tell you how I have grown almost like I just love now. The more I've seen him, and then I go back and watch his old stuff, and then I watch his new stuff, is Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen The Old Man and obviously The Big Lebowski and everything he's always done. But he was like a heartthrob guy. And his dad was in the business and his brother was in the business, Fabulous Baker Boys. And as I've watched his entire career, Crazy Heart.
Oh, Crazy Heart was just phenomenal.
Talk about rewatching something.
Yeah.
I will rewatch that. Country music, fantasy, and when I say fantasy, it's all the hard parts to living that life. You've got friends in the bit. That's what we all grew up watching and seeing, and that is the cautionary tale. That whole Waylon Jennings era was the cautionary tale, which is why some of the guys now are quote unquote softer, but it's because they didn't want to burn out at 45.
Yeah,
and be dead.
And
be dead. So anyway, just I don't mean to go. I love Billy Bob. I watched everything he did. I watched Goliath. I watched Landman. I watched his early career. I love Sling Blade. But I just if we're talking about tiers, I want to put Jeff Bridges on that tier.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just Billy Bob is he's the most versatile actor of my generation. I mean, the guy goes from being a football coach in Friday Night Lights to Bad Santa.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you another thing about Billy Bob.
Come on.
And it may be because of the way he earned it. I mean, he came up and he was like the third string quarterback and didn't get the starting job until he was like in his 40s. He could tomorrow, Billy Bob Thornton could play sidekick. Tomorrow. See, that's the thing. I think there's certain people, it's like if you sign LeBron James to your team. If you sign Daniel Day-Lewis, he's not going to come in and play a bit part.
Right.
It's his movie now. But Billy Bob Thornton, I agree with this. I think the versatility of Billy Bob Thornton is he could come in and you could say, we want you to be the head coach. And then he said, no, actually, it turns out we're going to do it. We're going to do the old guy. Pacino's going to do it. So we need you to be the trainer. Billy Bob would go, okay, I can be the trainer. And then he'd knock it out.
100%.
He could be the drunk father.
He's elite.
The angry fan. So, yeah, I love him. I do. I love him. But I want to make sure other guys are mentioned. John Turturro's so good. Like, I don't think you can put John Turturro in a film and people could say, like, well, he just didn't hit the right notes. No. Every time he's good. So, there's tiers.
Kind of like Costner, too. Costner's pretty good.
Oh, well, you know what? Costner's is as big a sports fan as we are.
Oh, huge.
Like, that's what he wants to do.
He comes to the Low Country every year and fishes. I know the guy that takes him out.
And you can find him on golf courses in South Carolina. Like he escapes so he can come here.
Yeah, he loves it down here.
Bill Murray has to get a mention.
Oh, Bill. Well, you could definitely find him in South Carolina.
Bill Murray that's what made me think about it. Bill Murray. That's what I mean about what you're looking for. But Bill Murray now, as he's aged, can play almost any role.
Yeah, he's Bill Murray's something. That's for sure. His stories about Saturday Night Live back in the day that was a wild
another cautionary tale era, right?
Yeah.
You can't do what they were doing publicly.
No.
I'm afraid I don't want to get us demonetized here.
Oh, it's okay. JC does that daily. Yeah, that's what I got to get all.
Phil mentions Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh,
yeah, another one.
So good.
I mean, he played some strange roles now, like Boogie Nights. That role in Boogie Nights, that was hard. That's tough, but he's. Anyways, we can do this all day. I got a question for you. I do have a 4-quarter Friday question for you too, because in case anybody's been sleepwalking here, we're 8 days from kickoff in high school football in South Carolina. Hopefully the heat dissipates by then. As it pertains to the Gamecocks, Smitty, this is not a storyline now, but it will be next week after they scrimmage on Saturday night. Or it's not as big of a storyline now. Thinking through it.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're saying that was the question? What is a big storyline?
Yeah, what is not a storyline right now, but after Saturday, in their first scrimmage, you always get new.
I see the intel that comes out of the overreaction.
This will be the storyline next week, or a big one. I'll tell you, this week's the large majority of our intel has been based on youth, the young guys, the freshmen. That's kind of been a lot of the things I get from camp, things JC, Wes, Chris, everybody. It's been a lot about the young guys. They'll play on Saturday night.
They'll be out there.
So what's going to be next week's story?
Well, I'm trying to think. You made a good point earlier. They're not going to let anybody near Sellers. So what will that mean? In other words, I don't know what look we'll get at the offensive line. I think with the pads on, going head up, I think the storyline, and maybe this is wishful thinking too, will be the depth at running back. I think it will be not just Matthew Fuller. I think we will see players flash, and because of some of the points you made earlier, I think they're going to want to almost coming on day one. I think they're going to want to. We have to run the football this year. We have to. And Kendall Briles has an offense that is built for that. So they're not going to let Sellers run it around everything. I think they're going to feed the backs, and what you're going to see is depth at running back. And some of those players will flash, and some of those names like Christian Clark, they're going to pop. And that will be the storyline, is that the running game is back for South Carolina. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but I think that's what will come out of camp. Can't come out of the scrimmage.
Okay. I think it's going to there will be intel on that, and I got a feeling that all those backs are going to have some moments. And when we talk to Shane next week, Shane is going to say all of them had some really good moments. I can already hear that. So I'll just figure out a different way to ask that question. But I think it's going to be on the other side of the ball. I think the focus has been so much on the offense. I think that and it will probably end up ultimately concerning people to a degree. I think we're going to hear more about the defensive line. I think it's going to be those guys had a really good night, and I think we're going to hear the offensive line's got a ways to go. And I think we'll have to get through the intel, decipher it, Smitty, and figure out, okay, do they have a ways to go, or they have a ways to go against this group? You know, are you telling me that this defensive line is kind of back where we saw it a couple years ago? Or are you telling me that the offensive line just hasn't improved that much? And I got a feeling that it'll be somewhere in the middle. The offensive line has improved, but so is the defensive line from 2025. And I think they'll probably get the best of them too. I don't think that means South Carolina doesn't move the football. I mean, this is an offense, they're going to move the football. We just saw what it's like to not move the football. They will move the football. But I do think that's going to be what pops. I think that group.
If you could put your thumb on the scale, and coaches always say they don't do this, but you almost have to because you can't let them just go play full throttle against each other. Which side would you want to build confidence on? Or what position unit would you want to build confidence on?
Are you talking about just in the trenches or just overall?
Overall. You said, hey.
Well, no doubt it would be the offensive line. I just think that, look, Peake's injury is what it is. He'll be back in a timely manner. Maybe at the beginning of the season, maybe in game 2 or 3. I don't know, somewhere in there. But I do believe that there is, and we talked to Cloninger about it the other day. I agree with him, so I asked him honestly, that's why I asked him the question. I think they're going to try to, at some point in time, say, "No, we're going to go with this group," as soon as they can. I really do. I look, Darius Gray's popping and all that stuff. Yeah, and he's going to continue to pop. And maybe they pop him in there. You know, maybe they say, you know, hey, hell with it. You know, let's ride with him. I don't know, but I think Randy Clements, he wants to know yesterday who he's going to ride with, and then he's going to get out there and they're going to be in deep preparation. I just 2 weeks is probably a good timeline, you know, so we're getting close to that. We're about 9 days away from 2 weeks. I would venture a guess that after Saturday night, he probably has a pretty good idea of what he wants to do to run with them, or who he wants.
Almost to a man, every offensive lineman who played at the collegiate level or higher that I've ever asked about made the point you're making there, which is you're better off finding your 5 guys early.
Yeah.
As opposed to finding the 5 best guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have the 3rd best left guard on the team, but he's with me all the time.
Yeah.
He's always there. We're always working together, as opposed to waiting until the last minute, shuffling, then somebody gets hurt, and you just say, well, he's our 6th best lineman, so he's going in. Mm-hmm. Instead, all the linemen say, no, it's a glove. It's a hand in a glove. You have to work together.
Yeah.
And sometimes we always hear offensive line coaches say that, but how many times have we seen them not live up to that and start shuffling?
Yeah. I think they're going to do everything in their power to prevent that. I really do. And I think that they're pretty close. I mean, look, Nolan Hayes knocking on the door. You know, obviously Surratt probably slides to left tackle if Jacarius isn't in there. You know, what does that mean? But I think they got a pretty good idea of what they're looking at here. Gray's thrown a wrench into this thing, but it's a good wrench for South Carolina. All right, so let me ask you this then. You know, Phil Steele has the Gamecocks as his 16th ranked team in the power poll. We talked to Phil last week. I let Phil explain exactly in his words what that means, even though the magazine pretty much spells it out for you. But the power poll is different from the preseason poll. His preseason poll projects where teams will finish at the end of the year based on who they play and who they are. The power poll is, I think that this football team is – this is their ranking based on who they are as a unit. You know, what type of talent do they have?
Talent, right.
So he had Carolina at 16, but he had them at 28 at the end of the season, which, you know, it's like 8-4, 7-5. Probably like 8-4. That's pretty good. There's a lot of people who they're not that high on South Carolina. Heck, we saw the poll down in Tampa. Carolina was 11th? You know, and there's plenty of that out there. So, for the non-believers in the Gamecocks in 2026, do you think that they don't believe in the talent, or do you think that they don't believe in the coach?
I think I think they don't know. I think they are, and I don't mean this. I don't mean this as an ugly term. I think they are ignorant as to the talent because
I agree with that.
It's hard to keep up with.
It is.
We do this, and it's hard to keep up with. Like, how much talent does Auburn have right now? Well, I don't know. They had a lot of guys come in through the portal. I don't know precisely. You really have to dig into a team's roster where these like, for instance, you just referenced the defensive line. I referenced the running back position. There's no way the average sports writer out there has any idea how much talent South Carolina has at those two units.
Agreed.
And it is deep on both sides, but they couldn't know that. They would have to spend a weekend researching one team to know that. So I think it's a little bit ignorant. And I think that South Carolina often gets a blanket thrown over it. You said 11th. South Carolina gets a blanket thrown over it because of the recruiting rankings that, okay, they're like Missouri. They're like Kentucky. They're like some of these other teams. And what they don't realize are two things. One, Beamer has punched above his weight in terms of recruiting, in my opinion. Two, he's kept a lot of the key names. College football is a revolving door, except South Carolina historically, under Beamer, is having more come in than go out.
Yeah.
And people don't know that unless you study South Carolina football. They don't realize that is what Shane Beamer has done. He is getting guys from Texas, but guys aren't leaving to go to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that. So there's more talent on the field than they realize, and it is at key spots.
Yeah.
Part of it is the fact that South Carolina right now has the most talented quarterback that has ever been on campus. I'm not saying he's the best. We have that year. We'll find out this year. But Lenore Sellers is the best raw talent South Carolina has ever had at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that changes a lot. That means ask Vanderbilt. Take Diego Pavia off that team last year and see who they are. So anyway, the long answer to your question is, I think the truth is they don't know. They just don't know, and they're going to find out when they take the field. And to Phil Steele's point, this schedule is rugged. I just said some of their talent is at key positions. Well, what if they lose some of those players? What if some of those players miss a week or two in the season? Well, that changes everything, depending on the ebbs and flows of a season. So I think Phil Steele is right on it. I think South Carolina is going to have a hard time actually living up to the potential it has because, to me, the schedule's different.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. I agree and disagree. Is that possible? Can we do that? That's part of the game, right?
It's nuanced. It's nuanced. Yes.
So I do agree with you, but I also think that these people, to your point, they don't know who anybody is. They think they do, and it's always easy and safe to put certain teams at the top because more times than not, those teams start and finish at the top. Fair enough. Again, I got no problem with that. It's the middle class that you have. It's a revolving door of who is and who isn't annually. Now, with the way that the sport is, it's kind of always been that to a degree. Carolina's rotated in and rotated out, as to whether they were at the higher end of the middle class or the lower end. But I think that, to your point, I think that if you took, like, when a lot of these guys vote, they vote on what they know, not what they don't know. Most of them do, right? So if you took the biggest names in Columbia, South Carolina, clearly the three, Stewart, Sellers, and Harbor, and then you throw in Jacarius Peak, you throw in Vicari Swain. All right, that gives you that's five guys right there. I think Fred Johnson and I'm going to follow this up here in just a second. Fred Johnson probably could be considered in this list as well. But generally, when you have kind of those three of them are definitely household names. The others are kind of knocking on the door of being household names, and they're projected big time NFL draft picks. I think if you put those in college towns of teams who are traditionally pretty good, I don't think it matters who the coach is. I think that you're just going to get the benefit of the doubt. Well, look at them. They just reloaded again. Now, Carolina got the benefit of the doubt last season in 2025 coming off of 2024, and they just imploded. They weren't good at all in a lot of areas, and then overall with a 4-8 record. I think a lot of it is Shane Beamer. And what I'm saying there is I don't think that the average media member or the average, whoever fan, most of it's media. I don't think that the average person out there that is trying to predict and project college football, I don't think that they have a lot of enthusiasm about Shane Beamer getting it turned around, because it's been so up and down underneath him since he's been here. You've been on, you've been off. It's like a light switch, right? On and off. Hasn't really been consistent. And the only thing in their mind, we've kind of pushed it to the side in ours because we see the inside of the football program. And this is an up close and personal thing for us every day. We get a chance to look at it. We pick up phone, call somebody. Hey, how'd so-and-so do today? Okay. These guys can't do that, right? So they put Shane Beamer into the same category that they put every single coach every single year who's coming off of a bad season. Well, that's hot seat. And that's the only thing they look at. Most hot seat coaches don't make it. So I think that they'll go, well, they've got some nice pieces over there. They got some talent, but I just don't think Shane Beamer's a very good head football coach. And I think that that's been the apprehension to give Carolina more the benefit of the doubt. I'm not firing stones at Coach Beamer, obviously. This is nothing personal with him. I'm talking about the outside world here. If I'm the football team, I'm taking that pretty personal. Like, this guy believes in me, I believe in him, and nobody else believes in him. Nobody believes in us because he's our leader. Like, I think and Beamer's a mastermind when it comes to motivation and things like that with that type of intel. So I think it's more him. I think if you took this exact team,
put him in Texas A&M or something.
Yeah. Or like if Steve Spurrier was still here, this would be a top 10 team in the country right now coming into the season. I mean,
I don't disagree with that at all. We don't disagree at all. I guess I just didn't. I thought you made a point. You said South Carolina did get the benefit of the doubt. And this is hard for Gamecock fans to hear. South Carolina gets the benefit of the doubt every time they close the season with a win over Clemson.
Yeah, you're right.
The following year,
it's very true.
South Carolina has expectations. If not ranked in the preseason, they're going to have expectations. And that's why that game is important, the way you finish. For years, and I think this may have changed somewhat, but South Carolina has certainly been a victim of this in the past. Look how highly ranked Notre Dame is right now. So here was the old formula. If you came into the next season with the same head coach, the same quarterback, and you were coming off a bowl win, you were going to be ranked very highly. And South Carolina, to your point, is coming in off a 4-8 season. They've got to change an offensive coordinator. And Beamer doesn't have the respect that Marcus Freeman has. Mm-hmm. And frankly, he doesn't have the resume that some of those. So look how highly ranked Penn State was. Was it last year? They came in like number 1 and number 2. And James Franklin, returning quarterback, coming off a great season. That's always been the formula to get ranked in the preseason. And that's why it doesn't matter much, because all of this will change like 4 weeks in. We see some football, and all of a sudden, everybody's opinions are going to shift based on what we saw in these 4 weeks, not what we talked about in these 3 months.
All right. Final question. Changing it up on you.
Okay.
This is my game, so I can write my own rules.
Yeah.
I'm discarding the final question, and I'm implementing a new question.
Okay.
You mentioned Marcus Freeman. This is more fun than anything. Notre Dame, they play Wisconsin to open the season. Okay. And then they got Rice. Where's that Wisconsin game? Is that in Wrigley?
Oh, they did have a game scheduled.
Lambeau.
Oh, Lambeau Field. There you go.
Lambeau Field.
That's cool.
All right, they play Wisconsin and Lambeau. They play Rice. They host Rice. They host Michigan State. They're at Purdue, at North Carolina. Then they host Stanford. Then they go to BYU. And then they've got Navy. That's neutral site. That's like Philly or something like that. Then they host Miami at home. Then they host Boston College. Then they host SMU. And then they go to Syracuse. If Carolina played that schedule, what would the Gamecocks record be in 2026?
10-2?
I mean, the over-under would be 9.5. So are you going 10 plus wins with that schedule? If you're South Carolina and this team they've got? I think I am.
That SMU game is tough. SMU's good.
They get them at home.
Good football coach, Rhett Lashley. Good quarterback, Kevin Jennings. Look at what they've done in the last 3 seasons. SMU is an underrated program, and they're the kind of team that can pull upsets because they have the firepower. So the game can get out of control, and they could pull an upset like 54-47. That one's tough. Miami's tough. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't think I heard a game that South Carolina would not be. Favored. They'd be favored in 11 games. They'd be favored 11 times, and and you can always lose one of those.
At BYU.
Oh, that's tough. Now that's a great atmosphere. That's tough.
That's tough. Carolina, Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Stanford, Navy, Boston College, Syracuse. Would the Gamecocks lose any of those 9 games?
I think you don't even have to ask me because Phil Steele gave you the answer. He thinks they are the 16th most talented team out there. And you give that team that schedule, they go 10-2.
Yeah, and give Notre Dame South Carolina's schedule.
Yeah, 9-3, 8-4. They're good. I think they're good this year.
5-7.
You're being harder. I have always been. To me, I'm glad I'm glad we agree on this. We can really bond on this. We bond on Billy Bob. We can bond on this. I have always, because, all right, so think about it. I get in the business. You did this too, right? You get in the business and Bobby Harton is, the voice of the station that you're joining. And for me, I'm joining in with like Phil Kornblut and others. And I just didn't understand this whole Notre Dame fascination. I was like, who cares? I grew up, Notre Dame was like Bob Davie. It was like they were fine. They were okay. I don't get it. I never got the fascination with Notre Dame. And Texas, still to this day, in your lifetime, as long as you've been alive, Jamie, when Vince Young trotted in against Southern Cal in a game that featured no defense in 2005, Mac Brown won his only national championship. That's the only time Texas has won a national title in your lifetime. That's it. I always looked at these people, these old timers, and like, Notre Dame, have you guys seen Alabama?
Yeah.
Alabama was rolling. They were owning. Now, I'm a little bit older than you. In the 90s, Florida State, Miami.
Yeah, it wasn't Bama. Bama struggled.
Bama struggled then. The early 90s then, that was Florida State and Miami, crushing it. And I just never got this seat at the table that Notre Dame. I'm glad you and I can bond on that because I'm like, now having said that, I actually think they're going to be really good this year. I think Marcus Freeman is a good coach.
They're really good.
I'm on them now, but what I will not do is give them the benefit of the doubt that so many other sports writers and media members do. I just have never seen it. It's just not what I saw. Tony Rice win a national championship, and that's it, pal.
Yeah,
that's. The rest of the time, it's like a 9-3 program in my head. Yeah. Good.
Oh, they got a cake.
Florida in the 90s with Spurrier. They were killers. They were killers. Fred Taylor at running back and Danny Werfel throwing to those, as Mark Packer always said, those frisbee catching dogs. Killers. And nothing but NFL draft picks on the defensive line.
I know. Well, you think about LSU in 2019. That was Florida every year in the 90s.
That was Florida yes, absolutely. That's what it looked like every year. There was never a game in the fourth quarter. You had to catch it early because it was never a game in the fourth quarter. And I just never saw Notre Dame that way. I mean, I've heard Mike Golick talk about it. I know about the era with Joe Montana. I know that it exists. I've seen the history books, but you got to blow the dust off of them.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has not been Alabama for a long, and Alabama's not even Alabama anymore.
No, they're not. All right.
Everybody's playing catch-up ball to Indiana.
Still, who has the most losses in the history of college football, but yet they're somewhere at the top of the sport. All right, we got to squeeze in a quick TO here. We'll come back. I've got a very important question for you, and then we'll send you on your way. Perry Orth joins us at the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Test ride at Electric Bikes of Charleston today. Road trip ready. Ride comfortably. Forget road fatigue. The Velotric Fold 1 Plus features our exclusive Comfort Max frame design for an effortless, upright riding posture and a low step through. With an adjustable seat and stem, you'll be feeling great and ready for the next campsite adventure. Your back will thank you. Visit Electric Bikes of Charleston. ElectricBikesCharleston.com.
You know, in Gamecock country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Mike here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
New year, better floors. Now is the time. Refinish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution. Beautiful like new floors in just one day. No dust, affordable, and 5 stars. Give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365. Or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks!
Jeffrey's got space and a touchdown. Can you believe it? Touchdown! He caught on traffic. Scores!
This is ITG, presented by the South Carolina Education Lottery. Visit sceducationlottery.com. A win for education in the Palmetto State.
Your love lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher.
All right, we got a jam-packed hour 2 coming up, powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, electricbikescharleston.com. Wrapping up here with Smitty from 4 Quarter Friday. So 4quarterfriday.com is $2.49 per month for another 3 days. I think the 16th is when that will expire. The cool thing that we have that nobody else has is a composite top 25 that takes the rankings from every single outlet and gives each program a composite ranking. It's an overall top 25 for the state, which is awesome.
Yep.
And the rankings, of course, the season kicks off next Friday. So tomorrow, y'all's program is kind of a 1 week until kickoff. Can't wait for that at 9 a.m. Dutch Fork's number 1. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. And Northwestern's number 2. I got a question for you. Is South Point is the 3rd ranked team in the state based on our composite rankings here. Do you agree with that?
Oh, well, you're going to get me in trouble here.
You got 1 minute to answer it.
We've been talking more and more about underrated teams. So you're asking me if a team is overrated. And look, South Point is, I'll tell you what, we're going to find out a lot. Week 1, they've got Ridgeview.
Yeah.
It's also
Who's number 8. Number 8 in the state.
There's so many great games early. So I'm going to say, do I think South Point at the end of the year is going to be the 3rd best team overall across all classifications? I don't. But that's really not a knock on South Point. I think it has a lot more to do with, I think there's some teams right behind them. I'll give you one. I think knocking right there on the door might be the 2nd or 3rd best team in the state is Irma.
Yeah.
Loaded.
They have
flat out loaded. And you have nothing but, we'll find out a lot about 3 weeks in, nothing but showdowns. Irma plays Rock Hill. Rock Hill has 13 senior transfers. Rock Hill has a loaded secondary, including in Cadavius Watkins, who is Tony Watkins' son. Mm-hmm. They have got college football players on the back end in that secondary, and Irmo has college football players on the outside.
Okay.
We'll find out. We'll find out a whole lot.
Oh, man. Boy, next week, this is going to be, I know the music's about to crank, but Gaffney and Spartanburg open the season against one. Woo!
At the reservation.
At the reservation.
Nobody wants to lose that.
I believe you'll be able to, you can listen to that game too on our free Chief Sports app.
Yes. That's such a big showdown, carries so much meaning. Gaffney has dropped to 4A this season. They will be a contender there. They will absolutely be a state championship contender, and they have a string of 5A clubs they're playing in the non-region. They will be battle-tested when they get into region play. No one will want to see the Indians in the 4A playoffs. That I guarantee you that. And all these showdowns, one of the ones a game that I'm in love with that I hate that I'll be doing television, I won't be able to see this, Somerville and Sumter.
Yeah.
Old Big 16 matchup. We've got a lot of those because no one wanted to schedule 5A teams, except for Gaffney and South Point, because they're not scared of anybody. But because of the way things are measured this season, nobody wanted to schedule 5A teams, so they're all playing each other. Ridgeview's playing South Point, we mentioned. Dorman's got Hillcrest, non-con now. Another good one, South Florence is playing Hilton Head. There's just so many games showing up in week 1, week 2, week 3 now because all this got thrust on everybody after reclassification. Just great games across the state first 3 weeks. Don't want to miss that.
Love it. Smitty, thank you. I'll be watching tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 4-quarter Friday, you and Rod. Thank you, man.
Yes. Tell Perry I said hello and ask him, hey, how's the North Sellers going to deal with having the 4th different play caller in 3 years?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm going to ask him in about 2 minutes. How about that? Thank you.
Right. See you guys.
There you go. Perry Orth on deck, and he'll be here when we return.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Ryan Brewer Fence offers a variety of services ranging from fences and railings to columns. Our craftsmanship, experience, and service is second to none. Visit ryanbrewer.net today. Why are you throwing all that money over the falls?
If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit ProtectWithBear.com to find out more. ProtectWithBear.com.
You're tuned into Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, part of the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by the West Law Firm, and brought to you in partnership with Resto Pros of the Midlands. Go Gamecocks!
It is the final hour of the morning show presented by our friends at Palm Casual, the best outdoor furniture you can find. If you're looking to be comfortable watching the Gamecocks play this fall, you can do it in Palm Casual furniture with a lifetime guarantee. I tell you what, we've waited and waited and waited and waited and waited months and months and months to get you back here. My dear old friend, one of the most fleet-footed quarterbacks to ever wear the garnet and black. I'm trying to figure out how fast to describe you, but we are glad to have you back, my friend. Perry Orth, what's up, brother?
Hey man, can you guys hear me? Can you hear? How's my volume?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound
good.
Fine.
Okay, yeah. Good. All right, I've been having some tech issues. I moved my computer a little closer to me. Maybe that the mic catching my volume has not been good, but yeah, I was hoping for a little bit of a better intro. Best overall football player to ever wear the garnet and black for the next intro, if you don't mind, Jamie. Come on, man. I thought we were like that.
Well, if I that is reserved for Michael Flint on Fridays. So,
love it.
He paid me off for that a long time ago.
Good. I'm glad to be back. I can't believe football season's here again. I know we said it every year in August. But what we need to do is, do you record these?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to go back into like the archives, see if you've got like a 2018 version. Well, I guess you were on the radio then, but whenever you started the show, we need to go back like season predictions of like what my dumb beep said about the year compared to like what happened in actuality. But I think that would be curious. Obviously that would be a subordinate project for you, but I'd be interested to see either how far right or how far wrong I've been.
I was about to say, I would be more inclined to pull that for you than I would for me.
I nailed 24. And when everyone was throw Dowell Loggins off the cliff, and I kept like being steady, like be consistent. It's there, and then it clicked mid-year, and then obviously we rallied off a great series of wins. And then last year I tried to soft shoe the Shula experience, but I'm high on Bryles. I think that we're going to shock some people, at least on offense. And then my guy Clayton White's going to have defense playing just steady, consistent.
100% on that. We're going to actually talk to Shane last week. I mentioned it to Shane back in April. I think it was in April. I said, you deserve a lot of credit. And he kind of smiled and was like, "Oh, well, that's a first for what?" And I said, you stuck to your guns with Clayton White. A few years ago, there were some rough moments defensively.
Yeah.
They had some rough days out there. They had some good days, obviously, but they had some rough days. And actually, believe it or not, as bad as the offense has been around here from time to time, if it wasn't for the offense at the end of 2022, that season wouldn't have turned out the way that it did. It was the defense really kind of struggled.
Yes.
But he stuck with him, and now Clayton White is the longest tenured DC in the Southeastern Conference, and they're gonna they've reloaded. They have reloaded on that side of the ball. The question is, have they reloaded on the offense side of the ball, Perry? And you're our offensive guru. With Lenora Sellers, I really want to pick your brain here on. I mean, you played for Steve Spurrier and G.A. Mangus your entire career, so. Every single year there was a comfort level. Perry shows up to campus. He gets out there. He knows how he's going to be coached. He knows what plays are going to be in the playbook, and we're going to go out and execute to the best of our ability. That has been anything but for Lenore Sellers. Obviously playing under Dowell and then playing under Coach Shula, and then Coach Furry steps in last year, and now he's being prepared for a totally different style of play under Kendall Briles. I mean, you know Lenoris a little bit. You've worked with him before. What are some things that a quarterback goes through when there's that much change in an offense?
Man, I tell you, it's a lot. I've been through one myself, going from the Spurrier staff to the Muschamp staff, and it's literally learning a new language. The play concepts for the most part are virtually the same, but learning a different language, and then the little alterations. Like if you literally think about it like a language, like the I before E except after C, like little nuances like that, right? The word receive is the same word, has the same meaning whether you say it in Spanish or English, but there's variations to it. I know that's kind of a lame example, but that's what it's like. It just takes time. And again, Lenoris has which is terrible. He has the experience of turnover in the offensive room. And from everything that Coach Briles has said that I have seen, it's how do I build my offense around the personnel that I have, primarily the guy behind center. That's like offense for dummies 101 of that is what you do. You don't come in with an offense and say, fit into what I do. It is, what do you do well and how can I build around you? And then obviously the track record. I saw a stat last December whenever he got hired as the OC that if he would have been the OC last year, based off of his points per game average throughout his career, we would have been 8-4. So when you come into with the consistency of Clayton White, with the ability of Coach Briles, with 16 as your starting quarterback, I say it again, anytime you got that cat behind center, you've got a shot. And I know there are at times he didn't play the way that he had aspired to, as all athletes do, but I feel good about what they're going to put out there because they're going to give him chances to succeed, just like Dowell did. Dowell came out and made the game plan very, or at least seemed and appeared to be very simple going into the game, and let him build into into the game and have the confidence that he needs to play well. And then by the end of the year, I go back and I think about the Missouri game. If you guys remember, we came out throwing the football, and maybe it was the matchup, maybe Coach Loggins felt like Lenoris had a good week of practice or whatever that was. But to be able to evaluate where he was in his game prep and what he's doing, you guys know I'm a big Dowell fan. That's why he's a head football coach, Division I level. And I think Coach Briles will, Lord willing, have a couple good years here too, and then he'll be off to be a head guy somewhere too.
Go ahead, JC. Good morning, JC.
Good morning, friends. It's good to see you, Perry.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
All right. So I have a question only you can answer.
Uh-oh.
So I've been kicking it around, kind of digging a little bit. and terminology has come up time and time again. Wordy play calls. You mentioned the new language. I've seen Spurrier's playbook is actually online. I don't know if he knows that or not. So, I mean, it seemed like that offense had a lot of unique words, steamers, corkers, wheelies. I love saying them just because they're cool. Because I could just hear him saying, "This is corkers."
Corkers, Y Frosty. Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you know what it seemed like Spurrier did was he had his plays. He probably had about, I was told 20 something.
The menus, JC, you've heard me talk about that menu 1 through 10. JB, I know you've heard me talk about
the
that.
menu. Yeah. Yep. And so, and then he dressed it up with different formations. And then you had Kurt Roper come in, and I don't know anything about what Coach Roper was trying to do. Was it similar terminology wise, or did it get a little wordy? And so and then I was told this, one of the differences between learning Brile's system, and Lane Kiffin talked about this the other day, and learning maybe what they were trying to do with Coach Shula and Coach Satterfield was one word versus 8.
Yeah.
And how can that help a quarterback, and really the entire offense get on the same page?
Simplicity, right? It's make things simple so you can just play. All right, so follow me here. Put yourself in these athlete shoes, and I know they train, but have you ever done a sprint and then you're gassed after a sprint and then somebody tries talking to you and you're like, please shut the hell up until I get my wind back? Mm-hmm. Well, imagine doing that and then having to be like trio right X shift, Y9, RB7 on 2 on 75B on 1, ready break. And you're like, what the freak? What did you just say? I can't even breathe right now. I just had Myles Garrett knock the crap out of me, right? Versus trio right menu 9 on 1 break, right? Or, hey, River, signal. Let's do our play, right? If I see something, then I'll tag a 4 or whatever. At that age, because you remember, how old is Lenoris? 22?
I don't even know if he's that old, Perry. 21 or 22.
21. So his brain's not even fully developed yet, right? Mm-hmm. And so you want to make it as simple for these guys to grab and perform, especially Lenoris. We were talking about this the other day in the office. Lenoris, 9 times out of 10, is going to be the best athlete on the field. Like physically, right? I saw a tweet yesterday that said he's 6% body fat. What is this guy, a robot? Right. Like, you don't make kids in a lab like Lenoris. And so you don't want to cripple him mentally to where he can't perform to his full physical ability. And that is, JC, the wording is where it gets tripped up. It's no different than like if you're reading a long email or a long text, you're not, I don't know, maybe you guys are smarter than I am. I'm not smart at all. I forget like the first part of the text and you kind of reading. Well, it's the same thing in calling a play. You're like, okay, like I got this guy's doing this guy. Then I got to go to, okay, what coverage are they in? Then I got to go to, oh, wait, they were supposed to be in cover 3. They're in cover 2. Now I need to change, or I need to. He's so much thinking, and it's not go, right? 1, 2, back or run, right? 1, first read, second read, check down or run. Or maybe for Lenore, that's what it was for me, but I was, much slower than Lenore. So I had to go 1, 2, maybe 3 to check down. And that's where Lenoris can go 1, 2, run, which is much better than a check down. Maybe not. I'm a big Fuller fan. I think Matt Fuller is going to have a breakout year. I think by the end of the first few games, he'll be the bona fide guy, barring an injury. I haven't seen some of the other guys play, though, but from what I saw of him last year and from what I'm hearing through the grapevine is that this kid is a stud.
Oh, let me tie all that in then, because the intel on the offense that Kendall Briles runs it's obviously his schemes. It's a RPO. It's a very heavy RPO based system. It's kind of a veer and shoot, heavy RPO. And if you have an elite quarterback, heavy RPO can be a really good thing. But then you bring a lot of stuff into play here. Spacing is one, and how you utilize the field. And I was talking with a contact the other day who was giddy about all the games he's watched over the years that Kendall Briles has called, Perry. Has gone back places like YouTube, looked up some videos of Kendall not only describing his offense, but just watching some plays. And he was like, look, man, when you're on this hash mark here, and look, he's running this play to this side. Look where the wide receivers are. They're 2-3 yards off of the sideline. They're making the defense defend the entire field, not just vertically. They're making the defense play horizontally, 53 1/3 yards. Okay. Yeah. There's a guy named Nick Harbor here. We know what he can do vertically, and we know that they're working on getting him involved in multiple ways offensively, not just running 50, 60 yards down the field. But you talk about Matt Fuller, and I want you to tell us why you believe that. What did you see specifically last year that leads you to make those comments? But when you think about the spacing that a coordinator like Kendall Briles will utilize with the athletes of Lenore Sellers, Matt Fuller, Nick Harbor, and so on and so forth, give me your version of offense working with an entire field and that type of talent running around on it, making plays.
Yeah, no, I mean, that it's the explosive play. I was talking to Pat DeMarco about this Monday, and it's so hard to drive the length of the field in any level of football. That explosive plays, primarily in college, because the consistency of performing play over play over play is way harder in college than it is in the NFL, just because of the caliber of player, the age, etc. Explosive plays are king. Matt Fuller has the home run ability. Rocket Sanders had the home run ability. We didn't have that out of the backfield last year, from what I saw. Maybe they did and we just couldn't block. I don't know. We know Lenoris has a home run ability. Harbor has a home run ability. That's what gets people excited. That's why people are still high on South Carolina after a down year. Is they have the ability to hit home runs, and you have to. If you have 10 drives in a game, which is probably low, but let's just say 10, you need at least 4 of those drives to have an explosive play. And I don't like the measurables of 20 yards. I'm talking 30-plus yard pop. Because if you have the ball on the 30 and you have a 30-yard pop on one play, now you're on the other 40. And now you're a first down away from a field goal attempt, right? And then a couple good plays from red zone and touchdown, et cetera. So those eliminate 5-6 plays of a drive by just one explosive play. And where Fuller, in the small time, and you look back to his run that he had against LSU, like he has the ability to go the distance. Same thing with Harbor. You look at what he did at the A&M game. He caught a curl route, turned up the field, and just outran everybody to the end zone, right? Yeah. And so that having that ability in your Rolodex to pull out when needed is huge. And then the last thing that I would, and you guys have heard me talk about this over the years, what made Coach so good, Coach Spurrier, was that strike zone 45 on the opposite 45 to the going into score to your opponent's 40, where you've got a shot to go for the end zone. Like, you got to take it within reason. They're playing soft cover 3 or a Tampa 2 soft, keeping everything in front. You do it within reason. But when it's there, you got to call it, because Coach Roper used to say this: if you want to score, you've got to try to score. And I think that's a great philosophy to have. And with the talent that we do have, with Lenoris' ability, he throws an unbelievable deep ball. That's probably his number one attribute as a passer, is the way he throws the deep ball. I would double down on that.
Perry Orth, former quarterback at South Carolina. It's 11:20 here on Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show. Perry, what about when it's not the deep ball? What are some things when you go back and look at Lenore Sellers in 25? There was a lot in play here. I know that, the scheme, the lack of the offensive line up front, the struggles that they had. There was a lot of everything was just not good last year. But overall, I mean, what a quarterback looks like. Whether he can or can't do something, needs to improve. What are some things that you look back on in Lenore Sellers' tenure, even going back to 24, and you say, man, that was pretty good then last year. However you want to evaluate it, that you would look to be improved in 2025 to help him in the Gamecocks?
The rhythm throws, the cover 3 curl routes, the 1, 2, 3 bounce step ball. You've got soft corner, you want to throw an out route. You got a soft corner, take the easy access hitch right into the boundary, right? If you've got an RPO called where you can run inside zone or split zone, but you can also throw the slant replace, throw the easy access hitch or the 3 and out. If you go back and look at the national championship game, Fernando Mendoza was just hammering the 5 and out, just death by 1,000 cuts. And then eventually they took their shots, even though Miami was elite on defense last year. But that's what I'm talking, that crisp quarterback-like, surgical-like, and I'm not talking about weaving the ball into coverage and throwing dig routes over backers and in front of safety. I'm talking about the layup throws. You got a stick concept on it. If the backer's tight, throw the flat. If he expands to the flat, throw the out-breaking route from number 3 or the tight end, right? And hit him in the chest. Don't smash him with the ball. Don't throw it a billion miles an hour. He's 10 yards in front of you. Easy catchable throws where they catch, turn upfield, get positive yards. That would be the number one improvement. And then the kind of 1A, 1B is don't be afraid when it's not there to tuck it and run and get a yard, right? Get into the pocket, get a yard. Don't take negative plays. Eliminate the heroic attempts, right? I was taught this, but I was also not Lenora Sellers. And the tackles get really wide. Don't go out. Climb, right? Because you can climb and then escape, but always climb vertically, right? 1, 2 shuffle. If you climb the pocket, 1, looking to throw, 2, looking to throw, half of Mississippi, and then you've got to run. You got to go. You got to get out of there because you can't expect them to hold the ball or hold the protection for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be that would have been my coaching focus throughout the offseason for Lenoris.
Yeah, so the offensive line, obviously, with all of those issues, you mentioned the amount of time that they can hold blocks. That's normal. That's like, You're not just talking about South Carolina here. I mean, this is. I asked someone the other day, Perry. I said, how many offensive lines in the SEC are comfortable with where they are coming into the season? And I tell you right now, the list is extremely short. Most everybody every year is having to rebuild, restructure, reload, however you want to word it. So final question for you, knowing the struggles that they have had here, knowing the offense that Kendall is implementing here, what type of improvement or how much improvement is needed from that group up front in order for this offense to click at a marginally better pace than they were just a season ago?
Yeah, just you can't let guys run right down the A and the B gap untouched and non-blocked. Or there are so many times where linebackers were running completely clean and free through A and B gaps, making tackles to running backs in the backfield. And it just cannot happen.
What is that equated to? Like what is the general why on why that happens?
It's guys not getting to the next level. They're held up on the first level, right? So if you're running zone, you might be double teaming, working to play side backer. Well, if you're not climbing up or you're stuck or confused or just not good enough to push, turn, and elevate, then it's kind of there's not a singular thing, JB, to be honest. It's a kind of a mixed bag.
Okay.
They, a total remake of this offensive line. Now it's all about, number one, staying healthy. They got to stay healthy. And then number two, which we won't know until the game turns on, is how do they play together? What happens when someone gives up a sack? Is the fifth-year transfer from X, Y, and Z school going to complain down to the other guy because he doesn't really care? All he's doing is trying to get snaps to get to the league? Or do they care for one another? Is there camaraderie to say, like, it's all good, man. Hey, if you see this again, let me know. Like, is the guard next to him, help me pick him up. Or he goes to the back and says, like, hey, man, I'm getting my ass kicked by so-and-so. When you leave the backfield, or you're not having any pressure on a block, can you chip this guy or help me out? Right? That level of communication will help the togetherness that the offensive line, that is truly a unit. Those 5 have to be working in unison together, or you're going to have a total disaster, which unfortunately we saw at times last year.
Well, they're gonna get a first crack at working as a unit when the Bullets are flying on Saturday night at 6:56 p.m. Their first scrimmage of the preseason, not 6:57, 6:56 p.m. at Williams-Brice Stadium. They'll scrimmage again next weekend, and then from there, it is go time. And it is go time with Perry Orth. We get him all season long once again. Perry, as we continue to get some intel, we'll jot it down, and then we'll ask you about it as we do on Thursdays. The most important question of the day, I know you got to get back to work. You look great in your glasses, by the way.
Thanks,
how's the potty training going? Not for you. We know you're potty trained.
Well,
how's the potty training going at home?
It's I might need potty training after my potty training experience. So no, man, it's going well. We've got her to the point where she's knowing that if I'm going to defecate, it needs to be in that bowl with the padding and the flowers and the stickers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's how we taught JC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
it's
good.
a lot of training.
It's good, and then also, a little update on Garcia.
Yep.
As you guys know, he's become one of my besties over the last decade. He's in great spirits. He's doing well, and Lord willing, successful surgery here in I believe the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
And he will be cancer free.
It gives me goosebumps to even think about it. I'm texting him and stuff, but just waiting. We want to celebrate him here, and want to make sure we do it right. So we're yeah.
We are working on something.
Yeah.
As well. So I'll leave that there. But yes, there's that potential as well. But it's funny how Stephen has handled this experience, and he has handled it the exact way that I thought he would. We've had the same stupid, ridiculous conversations that we had in March that we're doing right now, or the day after he had his first round of chemo.
Mm-hmm.
And he's attacked it the right way. He's in a great mental space. He's done everything the right way. And it's kind of funny, because you think, oh, Garcia was the party guy. But if you ask his teammates, like in the weight room, sprints conditioning, like he was an absolute workout warrior. Now, he might be hungover at the start of the workout, but he was going to get after it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that about him. And he's attacked this chemo in this treatment the exact same way. And God is good. Yeah, we've been praying for him, and he knows that he's got a blanket of protection. And for all the folks that are listening that are people of faith, he's got a host of angels around him that are lifting him up. And we believe that, we receive that, and good things are coming for Stephen G.
I can't agree with you anymore. Well, I remember when we found out what was going on, I thought to myself, trying to stay as positive as you can. God, if there's anybody that can do it, it's him. He just that's just his makeup. And so I just, we love that guy. It's hard to not love Steven Garcia. You know what I mean? All you got to do is just get to know him for about 5 seconds. One conversation with Steven Garcia, and you're like, man, that guy he's just as cool.
Yeah,
as
when it's all said and done, man, it's going to be Garcia and the cockroaches.
That's right.
Just wandering planet Earth.
You got that right. Oh, man. Hey, brother, thank you for doing that. Appreciate you giving an update on him, especially coming from you. And I know that you're really looking forward to him blowing into town and just kind of crashing at your crib for a few days. And, you look outside and there he is swimming around in your pool, and you're like,
Pool beers at the Orth's house, man. It's the greatest tradition in the South.
That's right. Shannon will never be the same again. So thank you. Can't wait. Next Thursday, we'll have plenty more to talk about. And then I'm going to call you tomorrow. I got to come up for Coach Toman's funeral tomorrow. I'm going to be there for an event on Saturday. And I'm going to give you a call, and maybe I can catch up with you.
Yeah, let me know. We're going out of town. We're going back to Jacksonville.
Okay.
But I I may or may not sneak out for a little bit at practice tomorrow morning and see what they got shaking. But
okay,
I gotta check with the boss at home and see how potty training is going first.
It's very important. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. You got to be there. You got to celebrate the wins in potty training, man. That's the most important part. Celebrate the wins.
That's right.
So,
all right, boys. Appreciate it, man. Looking forward to this year.
You're the man. Thank you, brother. Great to see you. There you go, Perry Orth. It's our quarterback. One superstar to the next, Mr. Sherbert. We go from Columbia to Nashville. We'll see if Patrick's got his guitar in tow or not. PD, Patrick Davis, when we return.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike Superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today.
When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business. We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
South Carolina football. Young men come to Columbia as football players. Some become heroes, and few become legends.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. Gonna get there. It's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends. We're gonna teach them all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry. It's about to be legendary.
In Columbia, South Carolina, legends never die.
Nope. They do not. 11:35, final segment of the morning show. Welcome back. Presented by Resto Pros, and there he is, our favorite big old cock, Patrick Davis. Hey, my man.
What's up, boys? How y'all doing this morning?
I was wondering if you'd have your guitar on your lap.
Well, no, you just said it. I just ran and grabbed one. Yeah, I had an electric guitar over here, but you couldn't hear it, so I grabbed a real guitar. So, how y'all doing?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're what are we? How many? What are we? JC, you got isn't today your day? What are we? 23 days from kickoff.
23. Yeah, 23. Okay. So
that's good.
3 weeks from Saturday. So
dreams will be made this season and destroyed. That's how it works.
All over the country, man.
Jamie,
right.
you look like you've been in the sun for like a month. What you been doing, bro? You been tan in bed? Something? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm a big tan in bed guy.
I feel like you are. It's a
Yeah.
short tan in bed, but it's like it's still
It
it's
is.
still a tan in bed.
You know,
you
may
do
not-
look tan. You been on vacation?
No, I've been at work every day for I don't know how long, a month.
JC, is this true? JC, is this true?
Jamie's got a little secret. He goes and listens to Christmas music and cuts his grass.
I do that. Yeah,
he does, dude.
I love listening to Christmas music when I'm cutting the grass.
This thing. I mean, he's dead serious.
What is your go-to Christmas song?
Well, I don't really have one. I've got I have so I have two playlists, which obviously a lot of your music is on the greatest playlist ever created. That is non-Christmas music. And then I have Christmas jams, which is just a mixture of all kinds of stuff. Like I love obviously I love like some country music, Christmas and stuff, but my two favorite Christmas albums are Ray Charles and Elvis.
Oh yeah, the Ray Charles Christmas album is Ray Charles album is incredible.
Yeah, I roll the Neil Diamond Christmas album every holiday, and I get a lot of joy out of Little Drummer Boy. Pum.
Yeah. See, I think you should do the morning show Inside the Gamecocks Christmas album with you guys singing the songs. I think it could be for charity. We're talking about like something like that. It would be a home run.
I hope it's.
I think so.
I'll write the songs for you. You guys
All
sing
right,
them. This would be amazing.
Goodness gracious.
I had no clue. That was not what I was expecting to start talking about here. Riding a lawnmower in July and August and listening to Ben Crosby.
Yeah. I I don't know why. I think it's because it's so hot outside that it makes me think about cooler weather. Yeah. I don't know, but because I love Christmas music. But after Christmas, I don't ever listen to it. You're Christmased out with the Christmas music. Let's all be honest.
It's like a 6-month thing. About 6 months before Christmas, you need it back in your life.
Yeah.
It's like a relationship.
Yeah. It's not like I listen to it all the time. Yeah. Turn it on for, the backyard, and then the front yard, I cut it over to the greatest playlist ever created.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
There you are.
So are we ready for the season? I caught a little bit of Perry talking about the team, and everybody seems excited.
Well, I think, Patrick, that, where I land on this, I'm not going to speak for JC. You don't ever know is where he'll dump a bucket of the coldest water you've ever sat in on you in a heartbeat. I'm going to speak for him, but the question was really about all of the issues that they had. Did they go and address the issues well? I mean, every football team every year, right, has issues that you have to address in the off season, whether it's personnel or coaching or whatever the case may be. Shane has done a good job of that at times, and he's not done a very good job of that at times. And so I think our intel this go around here, without seeing him play football, has been that more of those issues have been addressed than not. And so I think there's certainly some optimism, and we know they have some pretty good players. So the other thing is that they get 8 quarters to open the season where they don't have to worry about losing the game. And so, it's kind of like, all right, well, we can enjoy this for a little while. Let's see how good they can get in those 2 games. And then when they turn up the heat, we'll see what happens.
I think they're going to be fun. That's kind of all I care about is it's been kind of boring recently. So I would love for them to be. I'm excited about that, and I don't know what's going to happen. We play in the SEC, and that schedule is like I don't know. It's like playing the Chicago Bears and Tecmo Bowl back in the day. It looks like some of those teams. I mean, it's crazy. Like the schedule is just really insane. So I think, but I did read a great article, and I hope Gamecocks out there read it about how we may not win the SEC, but there's a good chance that we could. If things fall our way, we're like an 11 seed or 12 seed and we get into the college football playoff, and that right there is, then who knows, so
you never know.
That's what I'd be happy with. That would be, not just happy. I think I'd listen to Christmas music in July if that was the case,
Well, let me make a good analogy here. I think that we've all been around long enough to understand that you're going to lose games like that. I think people you don't like losing, but you can accept getting beat. Like that's okay. If you go out there and you play against another team who's really good and they beat you. you know, but when you go out there and every time you lose a game, like most of them last year, and you come off the field and it's frustrating because like in music, like if you go to a concert and the concert wasn't that good, well, then you say the concert wasn't that good. It just wasn't very good. But if you go to a concert and half the instruments don't work, you kind of want your money back. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, dude, you didn't even have, that guy's guitar was off. We couldn't hear one drum. You know, half the mics weren't working. Like, what a blank show. And that's what it kind of felt like at times with Carolina football. Like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on here? So, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, if they go out there and they go 8-4 or 9-3 or something like that, and they lose a few games, they lose a few games, but it won't be because, like you said, you know, they're not playing as best they can and having some fun with it too.
Yeah. I think all of us, just the common fan, which you guys talk about this all the time, and I'm just the guy that watches on, you know, Saturdays, but which I think a lot of us probably are. I feel like we just want. We're actually not mad at the players. I think you hit the nail on the head. Last year just felt like we weren't prepared. That's kind of what I felt like. I felt like we may not have had the star players that we wanted, you know, that we needed to have, but at the same time, I think we were just kind of a little. All of us were kind of flabbergasted by the fact that when we'd be watching them for one quarter and they'd look like, you know, world beaters, and then they would make adjustments at halftime. The other team would, and then we wouldn't catch up. Or, you know, our offensive line, I don't know what was going on with that. I remember screaming at the TV, screaming. I don't know to scream at it, but I was like, this is really not doing what I thought it was going to do. So
just
the drums, you can't even hear them. There's no guitar, you know, it was that type of stuff. So,
you know, you're up there playing, you know, Big Old Cock, and you know, Gary's back there, you know, drumming, you know, Hold My Hand. You're like, wrong band, number one.
Yeah, wrong one. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was definitely that. But how's everything else going? We got a new a lot of good stuff going on for South Carolina Gamecocks, I feel like.
Well, we yeah, you know, everything's good. You know, we're just, I think it should be a good year. I think, you know, hopefully basketball's improved. Baseball has nowhere to go but up.
Yes.
So, you know, besides that, we're just fired up for you.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of the smartest Gamecocks that I know. That's a stretch, but in how you schedule your events and your shows and all that stuff. And I mentioned at the top of the program that there is something happening in October that people who like good weather and bourbon and the bluegrass of Kentucky in the fall, which is beautiful up there in the fall. I've been to Kentucky in the fall. It's spectacular.
And also trying to find something to do on the open weekend for the Gamecocks.
That's why you're one of the smartest.
That's the big one.
So
yeah, that's
give us your version of what's going on here then.
I have these events called Songwriters in Paradise, SIP, and we do annual events in Napa, in Sonoma County, in a place called Healdsburg, which is beautiful. Those are both wine country centric. And we do one in Cabo in January. That's you know, a lot of tequila, and then in October we go to we call it Sip Bourbon Trail, and we go up to Louisville and we kind of bop around to I'm Lucky music. You know, music gets you in a lot of doors, and I've become good friends with a lot of folks in a lot of walks of life, like you, amazing folks. But it's so we do Sip Bourbon Trail is we go to Jim Beam, we have an incredible night there. Heaven Hill. These are the folks out there that like the brown water will know what I'm talking about. We do preservation. There's just a lot of small, intimate events. SIP is very special because we grew up playing at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville.
Yep.
You know, I'm playing the Bluebird, I think, next weekend, actually. But the Bluebird is only 82 seats. They can put about 90 people in there. That's about it. And part of the magic when everybody leaves the Bluebird, I think what they feel, I think JC knows this, you feel like you're in somebody's living room, basically. You know, you just have such a unique experience because you're surrounded by no more than 100 folks, and there's 3 or 4 songwriters in the middle of the room singing these songs to you. In the round is what we call it. And I wanted to create that in other places that I have been fortunate enough to visit and try to like kind of recreate the feeling of what the Bluebird is. So that's what all the SIP experiences are. I don't call them festivals. I call them experiences because there's only 100 tickets that are allowed to be sold. You know, some nights will be right at 100 folks. I'm a little less, but it's like I cap it because I want it to be something that you just can't put a price tag on. Really, it's you want it to be something that people walk out of every night and go like, oh my God, that was incredible. I can't believe I got to experience that. And my friends, I bring about 10 or 12 of my buddies, and they've all won Grammys and all the awards and everything. And we sit around, tell our stories, laugh, drink a little bit, eat some incredible food, and play our tunes. And I think doing them in these places like Kentucky, where on the Bourbon Trail, when we have Fred and Freddie Noe, they're the master distillers, 7th and 8th generation, at Jim Beam, hanging out with us and with 80 or 90 people, you're getting access to things that you just don't normally get, and that's kind of what SIP's all about. It's kind of like a backstage pass to our world, and usually to the paradise we are in, whether it be Cabo or Kentucky or somewhere in California. You're getting backstage access to that as well. So that's kind of what it is.
So for folks who are obviously going, well, this is in the fall, we get Carolina football. Again, this is the off weekend, October 15th through the 17th. There's multiple packages. I mean, I described this earlier is maybe like kind of a once in a lifetime type thing, because it really could be kind of a once in a lifetime type thing. I know you have people that go, every year.
We have folks that follow SIP around. We actually are going to do a SIP Ireland next year, right, for the Ryder Cup. So you guys get ready for that. Well, Jim Furyk's one of my dear buddies, so I'm going over there to play for the team anyway. So the week before, we're going to go have some fun in Guinness Land. But that's a whole other story that's coming. But Kentucky, the SIP Bourbon Trail, there's different packages. You can be a VIP or you can do the regular pass. We stay at a place called Hotel Distill, which I don't know if you guys, in a beautiful, like a 4-star hotel downtown, right on Bourbon Row in Louisville. And then we bop around to all the different places because, Bourbon Trail is very, it's not like everything's in like one area. So, you might have to drive to Claremont to go to Beam, and then to Bardstown to go to somewhere, or, there's all these different places that all the distilleries are located. So, but yes, there are numerous packages, and some are for not all of the women like bourbon. Sometimes it's just a dude's trip. I have a few friends that are coming that are bringing 8 guys are coming together, and their wives are going to do whatever they want to do that weekend, I guess. But it's bourbon is a special thing. It's like it's for people that have a certain ability to drink alcohol.
I have learned as I've gotten older, I am much more not thankful, but perfect. You already said the word experience. Bourbon is now an experience for me. Like I am Mr. Old Fashioned. Like I compare every old fashioned to mine because I make pretty good ones, but this one's not good. That one is good, et cetera, et cetera. So let me ask you this. So like, for instance, again, people can go to patrickdavismusic.com and you can go to the shows and then click on the SIP tab and it'll show you everything that you can get. But
songwritersinparadise.com too, you can go.
Oh, well, that's just easier. Songwritersinparadise.com. If you like, let's give me an example, like Heaven Hill. I've never been to Heaven Hill. So Carrie and I believe, are likely going to be able to make this trip, just so you know. I think I've told you that, but okay, it's looking likely.
You're gonna share a room with JC, you said.
No.
One bed, you said.
I won't share a hotel with him. Okay, so y'all got shuttles and things like that. So let's say the event's at Heaven Hill, and we show up.
Yeah.
Just give me a brief description of what is that environment. What are we walking into?
Well, if the Heaven Hill night is actually going to be, we're going to do it at the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience, which is in downtown Louisville.
Even cooler.
And so we will basically that is on the Thursday night, which is the official opening night. There's a VIP event on the night before, but on the Thursday evening, we would basically just walk down maybe 2 or 3 blocks to Evan Williams, and then we will have cocktails. They don't. It's not just taking shots of 140 proof bourbon.
I got that.
They have very specific cocktails that they create. It could be an old fashioned. It could be something special that they have when you walk in. You have a cocktail that kind of let's say it starts at 6:30. At 6:30 you walk in, you have a cocktail. Then you get kind of a tour of the bourbon experience room. They have a few different levels of the Evan Williams. They give you the Evan Williams story. You would then we have food as well. We usually we have culinary comes in. And you'd have that. It's not a sit-down meal. It's just really, kind of heavy apps. That's what we always say. Kind of enough to where you can enjoy your bourbon and without falling down. And then we end up for that lasts for about 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour. And then we do 2 shows during. There's 2 rounds, so there's 6 performers per evening. So it would be like myself, David Ryan Harris, that's the guitar player for John Mayer, or it would be Tim Nichols, who's a Hall of Fame songwriter from Nashville, would be maybe the first round, and then we take a little break, and that would be to get some more drinks and things like that. But then there'll be another round with 3 more performers, and the idea is you would get that cocktail when you walked in. But for all the bourbon lovers, the other experience of this is, depending on your kind of your pass level, you're going to have choices that are, if you're a general admission, I don't know exactly how to say that, the regular pass holders will get a certain thing. It'll all be great, but then if you actually did purchase the VIP, well, they're going to be serving you Heaven Hill 19, Heaven Hill 20. I mean, the Old Fitz 7. I mean, like the real, top of the line stuff. And that's the really fun part of this for me, is that I get to learn about it as well, because you're right. It's you respect the process a lot more once they start putting it out in front of you and going like, hey, you want to try this? Want to try this one? And they tell you, we did this way. This is kept in this barrel. This comes from, and then all the stories. Like, I'm a songwriter, storyteller, all the things. I love the stories, and some of the stories of how these bourbons or how these distilleries started are fascinating. I mean, they're just, the story of Old Fitzgerald is if you don't know it, it's a long story, but it's just incredible stories of how this works. Or I bring up Jim Beam again, but when you're at James B. Beam, we do our final evening is there on the Saturday night. And, when you have, Fred Noe is a 7th generation, his, 7 generations back, his grandfather was Jim Beam. He's telling stories that are right from, he tells the greatest story ever, like where Hank Williams Jr. came to him and had fired his tour manager, and he loved Jim Beam so much, he just asked Fred if he would be his tour manager for a weekend. Like, Fred was a distiller. Like, he didn't know shit about tour managing. He was like, I like your booze, so why don't you come on out here and just show me what to do on the road, And he did it. He actually went out. I mean, like, it's this, but these guys just have had access. They live such crazy lives, but it's also a really beautiful area. It reminds me a lot of South Carolina, a lot of farmland. Even the biggest distilleries, a lot of these folks are still family owned, and that's kind of the Beam thing. A lot of those guys, you get to talk to them, and they live in a little house down in Bardstown, or in that area that's this tiny little town that's no bigger than, Camden's bigger than Bardstown, So it's like, it's a really, really good people. And I think it's fascinating because, they're world famous. You're in the, the metro in London or whatever, you'll see a big sign that says Jim Beam, it's just, they're world renowned, distilleries and beverage makers, and music and certain cocktails seem to go together really, really well, and especially on an off weekend for our Gamecocks, because like, what else are you going to do? You need an excuse to go do something fun. I mean, like, hopefully by that time we're probably like 7-0, maybe probably top 5 in the country. I feel like you can celebrate at Bourbon Trail. I think Songwriters of Paradise would love for us all to come together and talk about how we're going undefeated, and sky's the limit. Probably winning 3 or 4 championships in a row. I think that's what we're going for.
And it also kind of worked out because Louisville is actually out of town that night. They're at Syracuse. So that, like, if you choose to come and you decide, you're going to pick a different hotel or something like that, there's going to be room.
Yeah, you can get tickets without staying at the hotel. There's individual passes that don't involve that, because some folks are coming with a big group and they want to get a Airbnb or things like that. That's all. That's acceptable. One of the fun things about SIP that I try to do is, I feel like if you were to go to a big show and you paid a lot of money to go get a VIP ticket, or you're going to have a meet and greet and stuff, you can pay thousands of dollars and you get about a 10-second meet and greet picture with whoever it is. And you get to put it on your Instagram and say thank you to whoever the person is, and hopefully they say thank you back. But at SIP, I try very hard to make sure that the attendees get a lot of FaceTime with all of us. Like these are all my friends. All the SIP performers are just my buddies, and I want now we don't have Chris Stapleton or Justin Bieber or whoever it is out there that is at the shows, but we have incredible talent, and some of the folks that we have played on some of the biggest stages in the world, and they're people that you're going to fall in love with if you don't already know them. And I want them to hang out. I want them to be personable, and I want after the shows, we go back to Hotel Distill, and then we end up either at the bar or we end up down the street. They have a blues bar down the street, and we go to it's meant to be a fun experience. The biggest compliment I get is when somebody's leaving SIP and they go, "I feel like summer camp's ending." That's what we want. You want it to be that type of experience. So,
well, I would love to meet you someday. I think that would be tremendous. So if I get to that, maybe you could sign a poster for me or something.
I'm going to sign a couple posters, and I'm going to sing nothing. When you come on your nights that you're there, I'm singing nothing but Christmas classics. So it's going to be perfect. I'm going to do Mariah Carey, and I'll Be Home for Christmas, and I think some Elvis, Blue Christmas,
the Blue Christmas, the Blue.
Yeah, maybe we'll meet JC, and maybe Nat and JC. How far is Louisville from Chicago?
Not that far.
Not far.
It's actually halfway between Spartanburg and Chicago, believe it or not, which tells you how long the state of Indiana is.
Yeah. It's actually not far. It's probably like 6 hours, 5.5 hours.
It's 6 to Lakes. Well, yeah, probably about 5 hours, depending on traffic in Indiana.
That's actually one of the reasons why we chose. I've been asked to do a lot of SIPs in different places, and I was considering some other spots in the States, and I decided to do it in bourbon country because, well, I do enjoy a good bourbon, but also because it's a really easy drive. We have folks that come from like Georgetown. We have a lot of folks from Rock Hill, from Columbia, and they drive up. They actually don't fly because you don't need. It's like a 6.5 hour drive, which makes it a lot more, more doable, I guess, for everybody.
Yeah,
you're not worried about getting in an airport. You just pack the car, drive all the way up. So
it's not bad. You just go straight up to Knoxville and then head up 75 and head over, or it's. I go.
And if you haven't been to Louisville, I will say it's really incredible. The Louisville Slugger Museum, which is all sports fans. That's really cool. And they've got Muhammad Ali stuff. But they also just have. It's just so. They've really done a good job of the Hotel Distill is actually right beside the Yum Center, the KFC Center, which is where a bunch of the big shows are, and it's on the water. The blues bar I was talking about, I think it's called Stevie Ray. It's like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Stevie Ray's blues bar. I don't think he has anything to do with it, obviously, but I think that's what it's called. And there's just a lot of stuff going on there that's pretty. I don't know. I think it's an interesting spot, and they've done a lot of. They've reinvigorated that town. I guess they've kind of like it's on the up. It's like Columbia, it's on the up. That's the way I think of Columbia. And so. I do believe that folks, if you guys can make it, it's definitely worth trying it out, or at least taking a look at it all. And Jamie's going to be there.
You should do one in Wyatt. Well, that's you don't say that too loudly. You want people to actually attend this thing.
No, they're going to go. We should do. We should do a pod. We should do one of the shows from SIP Bourbon Trail.
Well, that is very possible. We could do something like that. Yeah, I might be doing one at the. I've been invited to do our program in Chicago in January at the American Baseball Coaches Convention. How about that?
Could you do one? Can y'all do one at a distillery? Y'all won't get in trouble or anything, right? I could talk to Heaven Hill or somewhere, and we could set you guys up in or maybe a Beam or something. Y'all could just sip a little cough. Cough medicine.
Yes, absolutely, we could. I would rather not work, but.
I was trying to make this a work trip. I was trying to see if this worked out for you guys.
Write it all off.
Yeah, I was trying to think about. I was thinking about you guys.
Actually, that might be what we have to do. I think you should do one in Wyoming.
Yeah, I would. We've talked about it. Talked about
like Jackson or
Montana,
something.
Wyoming. Yeah, Jackson Hole. We got some buddies out there that have been talking about doing one out there. I want to do a cold weather one. I was just out in Colorado for an event this past week, and we've talked about doing something in one of the ski towns during that time. But we go to Cabo in January, which is the exact opposite of going to the ski town.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we would fit it in. Right now I have 4 of them, and we're trying to do one international one. I'm starting that next year with Ireland, and I've got some other places that I go kind of frequently that I know a lot of folks overseas. And so trying to kind of 4 of them is a lot considering all the shows and the recording and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, you knew Buffett pretty well. I think he would want you to honor him down in the Keys.
Well, they have these things called Margaritaville. They're restaurants. I think they're doing pretty well. So I think I don't think he needs much. I don't think he needs much from old Patrick over here. I think he's doing just fine. He's not even here anymore, and he's still making more money than most people out there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I would. Oh, I know this song. This is on my greatest playlist ever created.
That's the "Get Out of Here" song. I like it.
It's one of the coolest moments ever for me in football was actually it happened before a loss. It was in 2023. If you remember, South Carolina and North Carolina opened that year in Charlotte, PD, and Tar Heels won the game. And the two honorary captains who went out there to flip the coin were Darius and Eric Church, representing their institutions. But before the game, if you remember, College Game Day was there. College Game Day was outside of the ballpark. So we walked down and we were just, kind of sitting there and enjoying it. That's when we had just found out that Buffett had passed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was that day. It was that morning. And they were coming back from commercial break. And, College Game Day, they play the whole song, the whole show. You can hear everything on the loudspeakers. So they came back from commercial break and they were playing Margaritaville, which was pretty neat. At College Game Day, I was like, man, this, North Carolina, South Carolina, all these fans out there, this is awesome. Well, they did it in Bank of America Stadium that night too. I think it was in the third quarter. They played the song, and there was 65,000 people pulling against one another, but pulling together for Margaritaville. And they played it for the whole song, basically. It was basically the whole entire song, 3.5, 4 minutes, whatever it was. That was a cool moment. We lost. But that was a really, really, really cool.
But you have that memory.
I do. It was neat. It tied in music with football, and then
music. Buffett. Music brings people together. That's what I always. I think sports and music. I think no matter what kind of music you like some type of music. Whatever the team you like some team. I think that's kind of the story there. And Buffett, he's missed, but. Quite the catalog. Will always be around. But hey, thank you guys for having me on here. I'm getting played off. This is like the Oscars or something. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank my mom. I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank Coach Beamer. I'm hoping that they play Big Old Cock in the stadium. I've been told there's a good chance they're finally going to do it because they're not pissed off about the cock thing anymore.
Well, that's good.
A lot of sense, and then
is that going to be pregame? Is that going to be pregame?
I don't know. They're talking about at the end of like halftime or third quarter, doing like the last verse or the bridge out where we say the thing about the damned old Clemson Tigers. But I don't know. We shall see. Sip Bourbon Trail, Songwriters in Paradise. Come see me, Jamie. Keep getting tan. JC, you look beautiful. Good to see you guys.
I'm actually tan too, but not like.
I know, but you're like me. You're Irish. You're like from somewhere. You're like from Norway or some. I'm from Scotch Irish. I don't get tanned. I get red.
I'm 1/16 Cherokee Indian. I look red on camera, but
this
is
the
Cherokee
Indian, like Tiger Woods over there. I understand. Hey, hey, right here, Jamie. Thank you guys so much.
You're the man, brother. Songwriters in Paradise.com. I'll call her at you later on. Thank you, man.
It's great to see you, Patrick.
See you in Kentucky. Bye, guys. Go Cox.
Yeah. See ya. There you go, Patrick Davis. All right, it's 12:05.
Yeah, we got Deputy Smitty's in for our
friends. Right. Okay. All right. Well, appreciate PD and Perry Orth and Matt Smith. Tomorrow, John Strickland will be back. We're getting back in the groove around here. I don't know if Flint will be here or not, but John definitely will, and so will Raphael. Ask Raph on Twitter hashtag. So if you got a odds question, hashtag Ask Raph on X, Twitter, whatever it is. Take it away, my friends. We'll see you tomorrow.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls? If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Shopping at Gamecock Traditions is easy. Just pick up your phone. Type in GamecockTraditions.com. Select your items and purchase. They will ship it to your doorstep. GamecockTraditions.com.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Sell your quality sports and fitness equipment to Play It Again Sports and get paid. Recycling your in-demand sports gear keeps it available in your community. Sell, buy, trade, and win with Play It Again Sports.
If you need a new fence, railings, even new columns, there is only one call in South Carolina. Gamecock great, Ryan Brewer. Over 15 years in the industry. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Clowns are people too. Clowns are people too. Now I own some tiny horns and got me those red shoes. I don't know much, but know one thing that's true. If you don't know anything, just know that clowns are people too.
Now back to the clowns on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome in, everybody. It is Inside the Gamecocks, the show portion of our live Gamecock Super Stream. I am Phil Mad Dog Mullinax. He's JC Sherbert, and we have been terrible hosts, Deputy Smitty, because we left you out there on the front porch for way too long. We ran a little long in the last segment, man. But welcome in, Cam Smith, Deputy Smitty, aka as always. Good to have you on, man. Got a new season to talk about and analyze now.
I know, man. It's here almost. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm trying not to be outwardly excited. I'm trying not to talk as much as I want to about this roster. It's kind of strange, and I've been diving into the Gamecock roster for a long, long time. It just seems like, Smitty, there's answers that pop up, and then like an overflow of, because it's like, okay, I've been around here years where you're like, all right, you got 3 good offensive linemen. Who are the other 2? Or I mean, in 2006, man, I remember they had 2 corners, Fred Bennett and Stoney Woodson. And then Captain Munnerlin saved the day because he could start as a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And that team won 8 games and almost beat Florida. I mean, they were fine. And that's happened for a while. Then some years, you have a weak unit, and it ends up being a weak unit the whole year and a liability. And I think in the offseason in college football, that's what you got to do. You got to limit the liabilities as best you can when you're building a roster. And then you look around and you see, well, the linebackers, the one that looks like a player Nick Saban would have recruited, his name's Fred Johnson. And then the other 2 were actually recruited and signed by Nick Saban.
Right.
You look at the defensive tackles. I wrote something today about Tomiwa Durajaye. He's been basically going to start since he got here, right? They're that high on him. It kind of surprised me a little bit, but he's kind of the forgotten man, I mean, just because there's so many different options. You got a kid like Sequel Patterson who was special in high school, who in other years Like if he was on the 2020 team, he would at least be the second wide receiver behind Sequel Patterson. Behind Shy Smith.
Right.
He's that good. But, you know, how are you going to get him on the field? And then you got a bunch of freaks in this class. The freshmen are what's crazy to me. It's like, I expected 2 or 3, 4 guys. But, man, there's like 8. And so what's your take on the personnel? I mean, just from a talent standpoint, and I know, and look, let's be clear. It's not just about talent. It's just about talent. Everybody that finished high in recruiting would win every year.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it, but you sort of look around, there's just, I would call it very intriguing options, not just in the front line, but in some depth pieces too.
Yeah, that's the way whenever you was talking, that's what I was thinking about. Like, I mean, like you look at the wide receiver room and you go, who's the first 3 that runs out there, the first 4 that runs out there, and it could be completely different than what you're thinking. I mean, you kind of pencil in Nick Harbor, which I get, but then who's the other guys? I mean, this wide receiver room, I feel could be really, really special. I mean, you just go down the line of Donovan Murph and Nitro Tuggle, and then you got guys like that people are kind of forgetting about when it goes like a Jaden Gibson. And then you throw in his Oklahoma tape, and you're like, this guy can make some plays, and he's big and he's fast. You know, so I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, you know, with Jaden, and then you're hearing a lot of good stuff about Mazio, who everybody's kind of, I wouldn't say writing off, but he had the year that he had last year. And everybody kind of looks at this, you know, receiver room, and you're like, well, he don't have a spot here, or he's down the line, which I'm hearing a lot of good things about him, you know. So, and that's kind of the way, like with the defensive tackles, you know, you just keep naming them off with Kelby Collins and the kid from Illinois. I'll butcher his name, but the kid from Illinois, you know, the list goes on.
Yeah. Troy Pikes, your guy, Troy Pikes.
Then you got Troy Pikes that comes. I actually told somebody the other day, I was like, I think he's going to be a sleeper this year. You know, you kind of forgotten about man, but when he come in last year, he made plays. So, I mean, I'm super intrigued by it, and I actually love the fact that we have so much depth there, especially at those 2 positions.
Yeah, I mean, defensive tackle, man, you know, Brad Lawing used to do this, and he would actually they didn't have a ton of depth, but he would steal snaps. You know, he'd run Aldrick Fordham out there for 5 or 6 plays and rest whoever. And Byron Jaredo, when Jaredo was in his first year, of course, he became a starter and did the same thing with his ends. So, yeah, because the offensive line doesn't sub that much. So your D guys, if they can be fresh in the fourth quarter, that's a huge advantage, in my opinion.
100%.
You know, you look at the Kendall Browse system, and you've had some clips up, and I don't know which game you went back and watched, but a lot of people have. I went back on my Kendall Browse Arkansas game. I go to is A&M out there in Jerry World in 21. I think that game just kind of, because of how it unfolded in the first half, especially, may give us a true picture, because KJ. They went vertical a lot with Treylon Burks, and they ran the ball a lot. KJ Jefferson actually looked good in that game, passing it. What's your take on what we're going to see out of this thing? Because I don't know that folks out there, I don't know that it's hit them that you have Lenora Sellers at quarterback in this system.
Right.
And it's fast and furious. So just talk to us a little bit.
Yeah,
about that.
I mean, obviously, I'm high on Browse. I've always liked him, and the fact that when we hired him, I thought it was a home run. I don't think, last year I kind of felt we were really, I would say, hard headed. You know, we're kind of like Shula's going to do what he's going to do type thing. And you see the offense kind of once Mike took over. I mean, just a little short time he had, it got better instantly. Kind of spread it out a little bit and let him play a little bit more free and loose. I feel like that's what you're going to see this year with Browse. He's not going to try to force something that's just simply just not there. And I felt like at times last year, that's what we did. And I get you have to run the ball. I'm big. I mean, I love throwing it, but you got to establish the run. So, but with Browse, I mean, I think he's going to play off of what the defense gives him. He's not going to make it too hard. He's going to let the guys run, play free, run fast, not think as much. And when you don't think as much, you play fast. And I feel like last year a few times, especially Sellers, I would say that he just wasn't playing fast. I mean, you kind of saw it, too much thinking going on. I feel like this year, a lot of that gets wiped away. A lot of it does. And easy throw, easy reads. And then, and just run. And, once you start spreading them out and whatnot, and then you got Fuller and Clark and them boys just hitting it up in there. And, oh, by the way, like you said, you got Sellers still to deal with. I mean, So there's no reason why this offense just ain't, up and down the field. I don't want to put too much on it. Like I'm sitting there thinking we should just be up and down the field on Georgia or something. But especially these first 2 weeks, I get us, more so of a tune up to get ready for Mississippi State. And I don't know how much you're going to show against those two teams. I would like to kind of open it up a little bit. A 38-0 halftime type thing. Let's not go into halftime at 17-3 to week one or something like that. Let's actually get out there and jump on them, get the fans excited, get the team excited. It's fun to score points. And going to Mississippi State, man, just 100% confidence with everything. Fans are just going to be wild about it. So, dude, I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, I share your enthusiasm, definitely. Look, you coached football, you know about install and all that good stuff and learning a playbook and we talked to Perry Orth earlier about terminology and stuff. And for young players, high school or college, I think this, Smitty, I love NFL football, don't get me wrong. And when those offenses, and I've mentioned this before, like last year I watched the Bears and the Bengals. I think it's Zach. What's the Bengals coach?
Taylor.
Zach Taylor versus Ben Johnson. Two pretty good. All right. So when they can't stop each other, it's wildly awesome. And then in that game, neither they had some injuries. They weren't stopped. It's a total shootout. I was like, wow, this is what it's like. In that league, though, there's just rules, and chances are you're not going to fool somebody over and over, whatever.
Right.
I think college football is much more similar to high school, where you have players in, players out every year. That you don't have the time to teach during the week. You're limited still by the NCAA with practice rules. I'm not saying pro play. It's not the plays in the concepts. I think it's sometimes how these NFL guys try to teach it. And kind of what was told to me was, hey, man, there's a big difference between trying to learn an 8-word play call, 9-word play call, 7-word play call, and one. And for a young player, you haven't coached and all that, don't you think that would allow them to play a little freer because it's just much easier to know what you're doing? And that's just not Little Norris, it's everybody else too.
Yeah, no, 100%. For instance, whenever I was at Spartanburg, all those coaches come from Burns, basically. And so when they come from Burns, you had Bentley's system that came with them. And so, of course, we had Tavian there at the time. We took him to, I took him, me and a few other coaches, took him to Auburn it was actually South Carolina at Auburn in 2014 for a recruiting visit. And so we ended up talking to, that's when Bentley was at Auburn. And we ended up talking to them after the game. And so we were just kind of like, well, what's the difference? Like, what's the offense like here? He's like, it's the same basically that I ran at Burns.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Gus Miles, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, we go Rio 94. That's the formation. That's the play. Bam. He said, and we're on the ball going. I mean, Auburn went to a national championship. It was a few plays away from winning a national championship, running something that simple. That's all it is. And your guys just get lined up and they play fast, and there's no thinking. I mean, I don't know what Shula's play calls were, but I would imagine they were pretty long or longer than your normal college play, I guess. I'm not all about that. It's just let the guy call a play, something simple, and boom. And you could do that. I mean, like I said, Auburn did it, and there's a lot of team, coaches out here that have done it. I would be curious to hear what Browse is. I'm sure it's very short and simple, and everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and so everybody kind of gets on the same page. Lane Kiffin even talked about it. Like when Browse went to Florida Atlantic, they decided they were going to go really, really fast, and Lane actually shrunk the terminology, and it stuck with him. And he said that's why Trinidad Chambliss was able to step in and execute like he was, because he came in over the summer. And that may be too, on that note, and then we get the offensive line in a second. That may be why Darius, maybe they're not as, Darius is a freak, but Darius Gray coming in and picking up everything. That may be another reason why he's, maybe they're like, oh, if he's physically ready to go, he can play, because it is easier to learn. And on that note, with your offensive line, I would think Deputy Smitty. So we have Matt Smith. We call him Smitty. And so if I say deputy, that's awkward.
You just say Smitty. Yeah, everybody calls me Smitty. Yeah,
I know. But we got another Smitty, so I'm like, I gotta stop myself. It's foolish. But so my hello, deputy.
Yeah.
World. I'll just call you Kirby Smart. How about that?
I know. I was funny. I was gonna kind of put like a little Kirby Smart picture, kind of like sitting in the stands.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Like that's kind of big enough you can see it.
There you go. There you go.
Right? Yeah.
But last year, man, in addition to sometimes guys quit, sometimes guys played hard, sometimes they missed blocks. The offensive line was a mess most of the year. A lot of it was mental, I think. 7 false starts on a center. It's unprecedented.
Yeah.
And they look confused. I've never seen a situation where players come into a press conference and talk about being confused.
Right.
During the week before the game. Boaz Stanley, it's crazy.
Yeah. And, just me kind of outside looking in, I kind of felt like they were just kind of grasping at the straws there. Like, because they see what's out there and they see that they're getting beat up and they see what, it's not good on Saturday. But they're probably thinking too, well, we're having to do this for what, whatever the case was between those, whatever those 2 last coaches were coaching. I don't know what was going on there. But again, got better with Mike and got better with Sean. And then going back to, like you said, too, I don't think they were as bad as what they were, even though it appeared real bad. But you also had a banged up Josiah Thompson that we didn't know was hurt either.
Yeah.
So that definitely didn't help. Everybody kept talking about, Josiah's taking a step back. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of things that could go into that. I wasn't thinking injury, which I knew injury could go into it. But, he's suiting up out there. He looks fine, but obviously he was going through a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah, he went, he got better when Elliott took over. That was Oklahoma game. That was a bad day for everybody, but it wasn't for him. He actually looked a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Played pretty solid for the rest of the year. Had some. It wasn't himself, but yeah, I kind of got tipped off that maybe there were some lingering things there with his. And then I didn't know he had to have surgery until I knew, but that was what it was, and he'll come back next year. These guys, though, what they do preach. Jason Smith and Randy Clements and how they've recruited, they were very intentional with getting guys that are physical and tough, like nasty offensive linemen. I think offensive line is the most difficult position, probably always been the most difficult position, but nowadays, if you think about it, Smitty, you don't get talked about at all unless Cole Kublett's calling your game or Matt Stinchcomb. You don't get talked about at all. I mean, everybody, if a running back goes through a big hole and scores a touchdown, it's all about the running back. If the quarterback has good protection, it's all about the quarterback and the receiver, But if you screw up, everybody hates you. Right. So you get no credit, and everybody loves credit these days, right? You get no credit. It's an unnatural positioning of your body, squatting and bending over like that. You get hit every single play. You get beat up. You just really have to love the game, and you have to be a little bit crazy and nasty.
Yep.
A lot of these guys, Carter Miller, Hank Purvis, Dane Arnett, Kojo Poku, one of the things they targeted, and you got to figure this out. It's easier to figure out portal guys than high school guys beforehand, and it's not an exact science, but they're pretty nasty. And you hear the players talk, and folks from inside the program, they talk like, well, at a minimum, these guys are physical and love contact. I think that's refreshing because if everything breaks down, just hit somebody, right?
Yep. Yeah. No, I think our offensive line, we'll take a massive jump. I'm actually excited about these guys and to see them. Like you said, you got a lot of snaps up there too, which I can't emphasize how much that means. People's like, I've told somebody that before, and they're like, well, is it good snaps? I'm like, oh, well, they've had, they were pretty good where they were at, and I was like, it's a ton of snaps that you put together up there. Like I said, just nasty. Like I was watching the Poku kid. I mean, the way he finishes on some of his blocks and stuff at East Carolina, and he was just mauling them. I mean, you got to be nasty. You got to be physical. And if you're not going to last, especially in this league. I mean, you get ate up quick.
And it's like too, like Carter Miller is like his 3rd or 4th school or whatever. He's 6'1.5", fire plug dude, high school ball in Texas. It's his dream to play. I mean, that guy is just never given up. I mean, and to play inside like that long in college football, I mean, and you never hear the word money about any of these guys. Like they came to South Carolina because they made a good NIL deal. Even Ja'Carry Speak did not. He talked about like development and all that when he came. I mean, obviously, there's money being spent there. But I mean, I think that base that gives you a chance. Guys like that just love it and that they don't want to give it. It's just their dream and they just want to go out there and be physical. I think that even if they're not the most talented guys, and I'm not saying they're not, I think there's very talented guys on the offensive line. I think that gives you more of a chance than, maybe just a lot of big dudes. And I'm not saying this was the case about the guys last year. I'm just saying there's some offensive lines out there in college football. You see a bunch of 5-star guys that they're just playing patty cake, waiting for their next NIL check. I would probably err on the side of this physical athleticism.
Right. And it kind of reminds me of like in basketball, you might not be the most talented player, but you're having a guard, a superstar. And when you're that defensive player that just stays on him and nags him and nags him and nags him all game, it frustrates them. And sometimes you see them just kind of back down like, oh, okay, I'm done, and they won't be as aggressive trying to score. I'm not saying our guys are not as good as who they're going to face, but when you got that nastiness and you constantly just finishing blocks, you're going to start drawing flags because, the defensive line is going to get up and push you, after the play or whatnot. They're going to get in their head. And once the player gets in his head, he's most of that time, he's cooked. He's done for that week. So I feel like these guys are going to be nasty. I really do. I'm excited about this group. Really excited about this group. The trenches, the way that we have rebuilt it, I'm super excited. I mean, when you got on the other side, like with Caleb Herring, I can't wait to see him. I think he's going to fly off that edge. And you pair him up with Dylan on the other side, and good luck because you got defensive tackles that can just push the pocket. So
yeah,
good
that's
luck.
important. Yeah, and Caleb too. I mean, he was talking the other day. He's like, I walk around town and people ask me if I play wide receiver. He looks thin, and with guys like that, sometimes it's like, I hope he can play the run because I think that's one thing Kyle Kennard did really well that nobody talked about is playing the run, setting the edge like that. But they say in spring that's probably what he did best. He's really impressive against the run, and I like Caleb. He's a leader. He's an older guy. You hear him talk. That's good. So let me ask you this tempo and one more offensive line and a kind of a coach question because I like to pick your brain. I'm assuming at Spartan High with the burn system, y'all were tempo, right? You like that going. Mm-hmm. If it's anything to do with, I know Bobby Bentley pretty well. And I know they're probably going fast. G.A. Mangus was on with us, and he was talking about how offensive linemen love tempo because it kind of forces a defense to stay in base. Mm-hmm. I felt like last year, sometimes South Carolina's pre-snap substitutions and slowness allowed the opposing D coordinator to change things up and maybe throw some flies in the ointment. I'm not saying you could never do that if a team's running tempo against you, but doesn't it make it harder for a D coordinator to really do a whole lot pre-snap? And then wouldn't it make it easier for the offensive line to kind of keep up with their assignments if they know all right, they're going to have to stay in base, let's roll?
Yeah. 100% on both. I mean, when you're moving and when you're tempo, you're going to see the base defense for the most part, because you get lined up, you're playing fast and you're going. The defense coordinator, he's trying to signal in or whatnot. And I mean, when you're going so fast, the call has got to come in. And then you got to communicate across the field. So you can't be sitting there trying to get a call in and then your safety, your corner is trying to communicate, to the other safety, to the other corner. By that time, we've already snapped the ball and we're out of there. Or Nick Harbor's by you. I mean, so, and plus, same way, defensive line, they're just playing their normal base and the offensive line knows that. So they can fire off the ball. They can, if they have to reach somebody, they can reach them a lot quicker, a lot faster. And then that's when them blocks hit and then boom, you're out the gate.
You mentioned Nick Harbor. This is Deputy Smitty, by the way, our third conversation with him here on Inside the Gamecocks show. Hopefully we'll have a few more. I'm going to get him for like one more question here. Okay, so Nick Harbor, you mentioned him, and you did it. By the way, go check out Smitty's breakdown. I think he did have a breakdown on Jaden Gibson on YouTube. All right, so he's up to 6'6", 243. That's Kalimba Edwards size, man.
Yeah.
Nick in space. Now this offense is going to spread the field 53.5 yards, right? Like Tennessee, a lot like Tennessee, and does and Ole Miss does. So sometimes. Getting Nick the ball in space, given what we saw that one play with A&M and just his speed, and I think he's getting to where he can turn and get upfield. Mm-hmm. What do you see happening there? And if they can get him touches in space more often?
Yeah, well, that's why I'm excited. I mean, 'cause I think that's what you're going to get. You know, everybody was kind of looking for that home run from Nick because we all hear about the speed and stuff, and you saw it versus Virginia Tech on the post route, and then all of a sudden, it took a couple of games, but then you saw it versus A&M when he took the curl, he made the safety miss, and he's out of there. I feel like you're going to get a ton of those opportunities this year with him, and I mean, what he did versus A&M, I mean, I expect him to keep doing. I'm not saying he's going to break out every time that he does it, but he's going to scare a defense every single time doing that. I mean, and I feel like too, not only Nick, he's going to open up so much for these other guys as well.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about his speed or whatnot, and then all of a sudden you throw a swing route to Sellers, and you saw. I mean, I know it's coastal, but you saw what he did. And he's got a ton of speed. I mean, I don't know, dude. I really am. I'm super excited about this. I mean, the length that we have at receiver, the speed that we have at receiver. Like you just go down the list and you go, who do I not feel comfortable with in the game? And you might could get to 8 receivers. You're like, I still feel good. Like
Dude,
it's that deep.
I love Jordan Gidron. I mean, I think, and I think Stone Fury's going to be a really good. I mean, if you watched him in high school, that dude, Charlie Mullally.
Yep.
Cue the Irish accent. Charlie.
I've tried to find a lot of stuff. It's hard to find, but I've tried to find stuff. You can't find it. I
found one thing where he's working out and he looked fast and all that, but he's a fast, good, athletic kid.
Yeah.
Sequel Patterson, man, I must have missed it or forgotten what I saw on his film because I went back because people were talking about him and watched his senior film at Indian Land. That guy just does some things that, as good as a lot of these guys on campus are, that you just don't see that often. With the suddenness and the way he can make people miss and accelerate. I mean, plus he's a football player. He plays both sides. He played both sides. He played on special teams. I mean, he may be young, but that guy can be really special.
Yeah. I don't want to say shocked, but I was kind of a bit caught off guard when I heard that he's making some noise, and don't be surprised if he's in there early on. I'm like, he's a younger kid, obviously. And I'm like, and this room is pretty deep. And if we're talking about a true freshman coming in and can get in this rotation, early, he must be really special. I mean, I'm like, whoa, stuff I love to hear.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess I didn't really start thinking about it. And then I was like, well, let me just go back and watch this again. And then I was like, oh, I must have missed this.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, I see what people are talking about. I had a guy that he actually works for the Falcons now. He saw Sequel play like 8 times against his kids' team and some other teams in the Charlotte area. And he loves Carolina's receivers, like loves Murph, loves Pup, Bazio. He's like, they're loaded, whatever. And we're talking about that. And he's like, well, there's one guy that's going to play. I'm going to tell you who. And he said, Sequel Patterson. I was like, come. Yeah, I was like, wow, now you got all these guys and he's young and he's even supposed to still be in high school.
Yep.
And then I got it. And then somebody turned on his basketball tape. And this is, so he basically replaces Brian Rowe, who was really good at leaping up and getting the ball. And my man just takes one dribble and just dunks all over. I was like, wow. He was ranked number 18 overall in the country, like 5-star guy before he reclassified. So I understand what they were thinking now.
Yeah. I think that might be why a couple people kind of forget about him. So, you know what I mean? Because like I say, he's supposed to be in high school. He kind of reclassified and he wasn't that, I guess, maybe splash signing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he committed it last summer. Like he said he's going to reclassify. And who was it? I guess Georgia was kind of in on him, but I mean, he like committed to Carolina over Kentucky or Virginia or somebody, because everybody knew he was going to Carolina because of what happened with Murph and Gidron. And at the time, Carolina had lost like J.B. Shabazz, that tackle. That was right when you kind of figured out Smoke Matthews was going to Texas. And Tamarian Watkins surprisingly went to A&M, although Carolina got Tristan Lewis right after that, and he's going to be pretty good. But, so it kind of got lost a little bit. And then he didn't enroll in December, so you kind of forgot about him. Oh, yeah, Sequel Patterson. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Any final thoughts you have here? A player or two that you like going in, and then we'll wrap it up.
I mean, dude, honestly, there's I know I'm probably sounding like a homer, but I feel like there is a handful. There's several like that. I'm just excited to see. I mean, of course, the whole offensive line, some of these defensive tackles, we keep talking about it, but I really think Matthew Fuller's going to have a good year. I really do. I know that Coach Drayton was talking about, you got to be able to pass block and stuff like that. And obviously, Fuller hasn't had a ton of opportunities, so hopefully that's going good in practice. But I really think Fuller, that running back room, though, I think should be really good as well. I mean, with Clark and, Isaiah, man, I didn't realize how big he was. Well, when I saw the video the other day, and I was like, he's wearing number 4, like, how Henry used. I'm like, he's got Derrick Henry. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but I'm like, he looks big like that. You know what I mean? And then, but yeah, I mean, dude, and I think a lot of guys that a lot of people forget about on defense, who I'm a big fan of. I thought he played really well last year when he had his opportunity, and that's Gerald Kilgore. I really like Gerald, and I think a lot of people's kind of forgetting about him right now. And don't be surprised if Gerald's out there making plays this year. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, he's locked in on he and Quayshede Scott, and actually on my projected depth chart, I have Kilgore. I think right now he's probably starting at nickel, but that's going to be more like, obviously when Jalen was there, they didn't rotate. I mean,
right.
Jalen on the field, I think they'll rotate up quite a bit. And Quayshede could obviously overtake him, but he just has that ability sometimes, Gerald does, to be in the right place and pick the ball off. And he's fast and he's good. I mean, it's not like he's just one of those guys that's, we got to put him in, the right place and live with the liability. I think he can be quite good.
Yeah, just go back and look at his that Missouri interception. And, we were on the brinks of this game's about to get out of hand if we don't make a play right here, And the play that he made and showed his athleticism and how he can go up, he jumps and the ball's back behind him and he reaches back and snags it. And, just a great play. So I'm really high on him. I think he's going to have a really good year. And he's kind of like the forgotten guy, so to speak. So,
yeah. Outstanding. Well, hey, Deputy. God, there I go again. Smitty, we appreciate you, man, and keep up the good work. It's a Smitty Sports Network on YouTube, right? On YouTube. Deputy Smitty, all over social media. You'll see him. He's we retweet him all the time on our social media accounts stuff. We'll have you back in real soon, man.
Yep.
And looking forward to maybe seeing you at a game this year.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Deputy Smitty, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I like it.
Always great to talk ball with that guy, fellow Spartanburg native, and he just knows sport. I just like talking to him because he knows he's coached, and that's he's been on the field, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, he has that coaching experience, which really comes through, and because you could tell it when he's watching the tapes and the cuts and all of that. It was like, yeah, man, this guy knows ball, right? It's like this isn't just somebody who's just picking up on tiny little things here and there. It's like he actually has. He's coming from a place of experience.
Exactly, and is a fantastic person too. All right, let's get a break in. Gonna catch up for
speaking of bourbon.
McKellar Enterprises Chat Box. Yeah, a lot of bourbon talk with Patrick Davis. Thanks to Patrick for coming over. Please consider going to one of Patrick's events. The wife and I are going to get to one at some point. Yeah, we were going to go to the one at Cabo, but it just didn't work out schedule wise and all that last year. But that's the one I'll probably get to. Maybe you and the missus could get away. How about going all of the 4 of us to Cabo?
Oh yeah, my wife is dying to. She keeps pushing Mexico on me, so. That's right.
We could get us matching Panama Jack hats.
We could.
Sit at the cabana all day while the girls sunbathe.
That's right.
That'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be great.
We go deep sea fishing, man. In the Pacific, in the mighty Pacific.
That's right. Yeah, and I've never been to the Pacific Ocean. Never even seen it. Never laid eyes on it.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. It wasn't what I expected. When I was a kid, I always thought, because you saw the big waves and
the always big waves and blue, always blue.
Yeah, L.A., Half Moon Bay in California just didn't just kind of look like Myrtle Beach. Maybe I'm stupid. No. Right. Now there are mountains and it does look different than Myrtle Beach, but anyway. GamecockTraditions.com. They add stuff every single day. Also, Gamecock Traditions brick and mortar stores, Village at Sand Hill, also out in Lexington. Follow them on social media. It's not like following a normal clothing company on social media. They're interactive. They got really good stuff. Proud sponsors of Inside the Gamecocks, the show and the morning show. Don't forget tomorrow, John Strickland will be in. Matt Anderson joins us for the 3rd hour. We did have a coffee this morning. If you're looking for it on podcast, it would not upload to our program. I'm not going to mention the program, but our program that we used this morning. I couldn't get it to save.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a little heads up for you, Philip, later this afternoon.
Yeah, good. I'll be dealing with that.
Super duper. Nah, it may be my file. I don't know. But yeah, but it'll be up later. It's about physicality, what we've been talking about. But we'll be back after this.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were, being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today.
When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business. We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
Welcome back, everybody, inside the Gamecocks, the show rolling on here. Final segment of the show here on a Thirsty Thursday. Glad to have Deputy Smitty in. Appreciate him dropping by. Working with we will have soon. SEC Mike is going to join us. JC, just trying to hammer out a day. Been going back and forth with Mike
Bratton.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't have him.
I've seen Cousin Shane do some guest spots here.
Okay, hold on now.
Maybe even in our market. Maybe not in our market, but we got to get Cousin Shane.
Yeah, we definitely need to work it out to where we can have Cousin Shane on. Everybody would love
those
that.
guys are interesting. They're high on Carolina this year. They're also super high on Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think they picked Tennessee 4th in the league. That's very interesting. But I keep going back, and I wrote on the Big Spur yesterday about like the 3 games that College Game Day has been here once since 2014. That was 2024. So kind of a fun little exercise. So where could we, where could we see Game Day come to Columbia again? Right. So the first game, I think the first opportunity is probably that Tennessee game.
Yeah.
And the reason is I don't think it's going to surprise anybody if Texas goes to Knoxville and loses.
It's not as improbable as one would think, like just on the surface, right? Yeah, it's not going to be.
That program's still kind of getting used to like not, it's not Kansas. You're not in Kansas anymore.
Kansas anymore.
And if you really think about this, Texas is look, different players, different coaches, whatever. I mean, everything's different, but sometimes programs, no matter who the coach is, they just it's a funny thing in college football. And I started like, putting it through my head. I was like, well, who did Texas struggle with the most while they were in the Big 12? Kansas State, for some reason. Well, Kansas State packs it out and has a rabid fan base, and their stadium is hard to play in.
True. Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, and then I was like, well, sir, there are good teams in the Big 12, right? Well, guess what? After Nebraska left, and Nebraska was kind of declining and all that, I guess A&M was hard, and they certainly lost sometimes at A&M. Other than that, those venues aren't much. And then they didn't have to play Oklahoma in Norman ever. It's always neutral site. So they come into this league and they'd take an L at Florida last year. They had to have a valiant comeback to beat Mississippi State. They were beat dead in the water in Starkville. And then the mighty Kentucky defense that I was like disgusted that South Carolina only put up 21 points against. Held them to like 13 in regulation. They escaped Lexington by 3.
Yeah.
All right. So I just don't know, man. I mean, Knoxville has 107. Now, look, Texas won at Alabama at night 2 years ago before they got in the SEC. So I'm not saying that they can't. I'm just saying it's not going to surprise anybody if Tennessee wins that game. Tennessee's road games are at Arkansas and at Georgia Tech before they come to Carolina. They have Alabama at home. They have Auburn at home. They have Texas at home. I see a path for them to be undefeated when they come to Columbia, but it's kind of like a Texas A&M 2024 undefeated, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
And if they are, and if Carolina can take care of business, kind of looking at the other matchups that weekend, I see Carolina getting game. I see Columbia getting game day.
I see that as definitely the first opportunity.
For sure. And I wrote down, I was like, okay, so I got a picture of Pat McAfee holding the Gamecock. So that weekend there's Texas A&M at Bama.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, in theory, Carolina and Tennessee both would have had to have beaten Bama. Ole Miss at Texas, that could throw it off. Virginia Tech and Clemson play that weekend. Like if Virginia Tech's surprisingly good and Clemson's undefeated. Indiana at Michigan, Southern Cal at Illinois. Indiana, Michigan, I don't know. So that could be the first one. The second one's A&M. There's not a lot of competition. Georgia, Ole Miss would be competition. There's not a lot of non-SEC competition. But Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Florida that weekend in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And then the please, Lord, let this happen option is that Georgia game.
Yeah.
And it's really light that weekend. So Virginia Tech, Miami in the ACC, Ohio State, Nebraska in the Big Ten, Texas A&M and Oklahoma play, and then LSU at Tennessee. Hey, Carolina beats the Vols. They may end up getting the game. That may be the game day bowl because Lane Kiffin going back to Tennessee. Although Lane Kiffin going back to Tennessee is not going to be nearly as dramatic as going back to Ole Miss.
No, yeah, they're gonna, they're gonna expend all that Lane Kiffin on the Ole Miss game.
If College game day is at the Georgia Carolina game this year, that late in the season, that means good things have happened.
Yeah, that means that very likely the winner of this game is going to be in Atlanta 2 weeks from this date.
Yeah, Cockweed says I ain't choosing Texas.
I ain't choosing
that song. Choosing Texas. Anyway, our Enterprises chat box. Craig, I knew Kreger would love Noah Clark because Craig's Mr. Size. He loves size.
Right.
And Bryce, by the way, Bryce, good morning to you, sir. Bryce in the chat box. I know it was a little while ago, but we have guests. We got to all listen to the guests. So give me a 6'5", 345 pounder at D tackle. I don't care if he's a freshman. He's going to play. Noah Clark is. But if you hear everybody, like the media does a pretty good job of asking guys questions about other players, because sometimes you'll ask, I wish with the coaches, I think maybe it's because sometimes you just get a canned answer if you ask specifically about a guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's working hard and competing.
Right.
Next. But the players kind of, they're not going to throw anybody under the bus, but they'll kind of, if you ask them, like, name a couple of players that are looking good, they all say Noah Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tomiwa was talking about him yesterday.
He went on and on.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Handles his business.
Yeah, I mean, that's something else. So.
Good.
And that's the thing that surprised me. I mean, I didn't really hammer this home all summer or all off season. And it's starting to come into focus is this class. Like, yes, we expected Xavier and Currents to play. I kind of looked at it. And I was like, well, Currents will play, could start because there's an opening at safety. Although he may not, maybe not right away.
And there's going to be opportunities for Walker. I mean,
Walker's good. Yeah, they need some depth at edge, and Darius Gray could work his way in somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of my thought. Those three guys. Noah Clark, if he reshapes, could get some snaps because he's got a different body type. I didn't expect. The first shock was Tristan Lewis looks great in the scrimmage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you start hearing about the freshman DBs, right? Yeah, and you're like, oh.
And I'm like, yeah. I mean, and look, some of the like Kazi Barnes getting on the field. Now it's not. I mean, a lot of freshman DBs have played, but and so that was kind of my thing. I was like, Aiden Harris could get in the rotation a little bit. I mean, you look at it. I didn't expect. Landon Duckworth obviously is the quarterback, so he's got to be behind other guys. Sequel was coming in late, coming in the normal time. But yeah, the first shocker was Tristan Lewis. It's like, oh, okay. And then you hear all this about Noah Clark, like on and on and on. And then Julian Walker's not only a guy that can contribute, he could possibly start. And then and then also in this class, the guys that you hear the buzz about Sequel Patterson. And then, oh, boom, by the way, Darius Gray may be unlike anything you've ever seen. And this is not hype. Okay, I'll tell you why. Coaches will hype a recruiting class.
Oh, yeah.
Until they sign. And then they don't want to. It's like drill sergeant. You remember when Forrest Gump joined the Army and the next thing is the drill sergeant yelling in his face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude. So it's like, they don't. I mean, they have to be really, really good for them to be like, other than, oh, yeah, they're just working hard. Shane Beamer, if you look at his face when he's talking about Darius Gray, Shane's kind of had this serious look, and I'm here for it because I think he knows he could possibly have a pretty good team, but there's also a lot of work to do.
Yeah, right.
And I think that they're gradually, collectively all getting madder and madder about what happened last year.
Good.
Take it out on somebody.
That's right.
But he kind of started smiling and was jovial when that happened. And so that's just icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect 7 or 8 guys. And then the guys that probably aren't going to play a whole lot. There's some freakiness there too. Landon Duckworth is kind of freaky, right?
Right.
Zion Giles is going to be really good. He's kind of this big athletic guy that's going to be good. Andrew Harris, I think, is kind of twitchy, right? Keenan Britt's probably going to play special teams because he was the special teams newcomer of the spring. KJ Johnson's a sprinter. He's got really good speed and length. Hayden Ramsey, how many times have we talked about him?
Oh, right. Yeah. Probably not enough because I think he's got the ability to, make some play.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's Nasty Neff Jiwa.
Yeah, right. And then the biggest question mark on the team, right?
Yeah, but
rugby giant.
I think the lights come on for the lights come on for the coaches going, I'm sure they've always thought this, but about maybe putting him on some special teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Beamer also had a little misdirection the other day when he talked about putting him on punt block.
Yeah,
maybe you do put him on punt block. I mean, you think about a 6'7" guy that's athletic and can run. Maybe I'm sorry, I'm going to take that back. I don't know that it was misdirection because if you think about it, now you got to worry about him tackling the punter. After the punter, let's go with the ball. Right. I don't know what the rugby rules are, but if you think about this guy, when you watch his rugby stuff, he's running around like a soccer player. I mean, like he's that big. And just
his agility is nuts.
It's
right?
insane.
Yeah. I know.
And he can jump and he can leap. So if you just teach him to fire off the edge, good luck blocking him. Because there aren't many 6'7", 290 pounders firing off the edge.
Right.
And then he lays out at 6'7" and gets there.
Yeah, that's
but anyway.
Punt block. It was like, man, just get a fingertip on it and you can cream that.
I would work him like I would almost, and I know they won't do this because this is why I'm not a coach. I would almost like say, all right, Neff, you're going to take half the practice. And you're going to work with the offensive line, right? Because you probably about 5th team right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 5th team tackle.
Because we got to teach you the game. But what we're going to do, we're going to send you over to the field with these student assistants, and all day, or not all day, but for like 2 periods, we're just going to teach you to go block punts.
That's right, just block punts.
Lay out there. You put some pads down there, so he doesn't skin up his belly. You just go and lay out. Imagine him and Maurice Brown both coming at you from. Good God.
Put a neck roll on that guy.
Dude, put a neck roll on Neff Jiwa.
Neck roll on Neff Jiwa. Yeah, they'd be wetting themselves on the other side of that.
Unbelievable. Man, we're almost out of time.
I know.
Cockweed says he has faith in the backup quarterback, Cutter Woods. Yeah, it's a much better situation than last year. And that's nothing against Luke Doty. But Cutter was the best backup.
Right.
Putting him in behind that line and that offense is pretty scary. Seriously. Luke says it seems like every team says they have a good roster now and great coaches. It's August.
That's right. 2 weeks into August, you better hope that's what you're hearing coming out of the building.
Yeah. But I think they've had a good roster. This one could be a little bit better than good.
Yeah.
Just because of the potential there. And it's simple stuff like height, weight, speed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there's years where you go in, the linebackers should be pretty good. Like when, you had Sky Moore and TJ Brunson, those two linebackers. And I think Sherrod Green, healthy, was in that group too. I think 17 or so. That year they should be good at linebacker. None of those guys were 6'4", 240, and ran 4.5 like Fred Johnson. And none of those guys were like the 6'3", 230-pound German assassin like Justin Uncle Runquo.
Who does have a pretty thick accent, too. Like,
Yeah. I know.
His native tongue.
Sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He does. It was very much.
I am just very happy. I'm happy to be here. You know, good. And then they didn't have a guy like Sean Murphy, who was recruited by Alabama and was one of the top linebacker. You know, I mean, they didn't have those types of guys. They didn't have anybody that was 6'5", 300.
No.
None of the Spurrier teams had defensive tackles like this.
Mm-hmm.
They had Travian, Lottie Asboy, Kelsey Quarles, Byron Jerido. I think Travian was the only one drafted that whole time. So, I don't know, man. Harrison says the upstate school's full of nobodies, according to Dabo. Hey, listen. I'm going to just tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you this right now, and I may be crazy. Do not be surprised if they go beat LSU at LSU.
Right.
And you're going to need, you Gamecock fans, you are going to need to prepare to hear it for a week.
Mentally prepare yourself.
Mentally prepare yourself.
Right.
Because LSU, there's a lot of new down there. They portaled it up. They are going, and they spent a lot of money, and they're going to be extremely overconfident. They'll be about a 12.5-point favorite, probably.
Oh, wow. You think it'd be that big? You're probably right.
Clemson is coming off 7-6. They lost Cade Klubnik. I mean, you lost one of the receiver. Antonio Williams been walking through that door. They have questions on the O-line. They had to rebuild their secondary. They lost all those draft picks. But I'm telling you, man.
I know.
I've seen this movie before, especially with somebody like a kind of a semi-wounded animal like Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Against a team that even behind the scenes, you hear the LSU folks, even Lake Kiffin's alluded to it. Hey, man, we may not be national championship good this year.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And the hype is going to be through the roof. And Chad Morris has been out of the game studying ball plays. And Clemson has enough speed at running back and receiver, enough playmakers to where they can go in there, dial some things up to get, quick touchdowns or whatever, and really make, I don't know, man. Mark it down. Do not be surprised if that happens. Do I hope it happens? Probably not.
No.
None of us do.
None of us want that to happen.
But I just got this gut feeling about that game. And you know what I feel about this game? And don't get mad at me. I'm not trying to stir the pot, folks. I can't help it. My gut feelings about games. Remember, I talked all year before Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech.
Right.
Remember Virginia Tech, this is our year. And I was like, beware the kill zone.
Beware the kill
zone. Now,
zone.
there's no kill zone went to Clemson. It's Chad Morris. But I'm just telling you.
The architect of the Clemson offense. It's back home.
Like, hey, don't get full. I mean, this kind of feels weird. And then there's also justice in the world. LSU, Lake Kiffin leaving, gets ass cut by Clemson, who'll probably finish 8-4, something like that this year.
Right. Yeah. I could still win the ACC and make it into the playoff.
Harrison's with me. He said, if the line closes at 12.5, I'll take the road team to cover.
Yeah, 2 scores. I'm with you.
Yeah, but all right. For the Mad Dog Phil Mullinax, it's JC Sherbert. This has been Inside the Gamecock Show. Thank you to Deputy Smitty for jumping in with us. We always enjoy our conversations with him. Thanks to Perry Orth for coming in, Patrick Davis, Matt Smith in the first hour. Special is still going on, so I got some clarification. So I think it's Sunday at midnight. The $29.99 for the whole year deal ends over. On 3, Big Spur, the Gamecock Central, unless they extend it again.
That's true.
But hundreds of you have signed up. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nice comment out there from some folks about the fact that we've put out good content, even on other websites.
That's right. We appreciate
that. Thank you for complimenting us. We try our best, and we're going to continue to do good, continue to be even better with that. We appreciate y'all. We'll holla at you soon.